Welcome. Um, Welcome to episode 119. This is Uncensored Minds. We just wanted to start tonight's show off as we started off a couple of shows before with a moment of silence. Unfortunately, it seems like we have to keep on doing this. And the moment I'm speaking of now is actually um, close to home for three of the cast members. And those three would be T, Aisha, myself. Um, Tragically, last night, Philadelphia police officer was gunned down in the line of duty, and we wanted to send our condolences to the family for just for the senseless act of violence. Um, the perpetrator was caught, but for him to lose his life and it's tragic and senseless. Again, we have to continue to keep doing this often, and it's disheartening and distasteful. So if you don't mind, everybody in the comments just put in a hand of prayer, a heart up, or some kind of emoji that has to do with the love or prayer that we need to wrap our arms around those that family who lost the officer who died in the line of duty here in the Philadelphia area. Sit back, enjoy episode 119. It's gonna be a great show. The show is dedicated to you, moms, all out there across the world. So it's episode 119. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. What's going on, good people? Hey, Katie.
Hello, everyone. My apologies for the late again, but I had to work today and I had to work over today. So, my sincere apologies. Hello, Juanita, and hello to everyone out there in social media world. Ish, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was okay. I can have many, many complaints, but that shall not be becoming of me. So I
Exactly.
will just say I had a great weekend. It was good. I did manage to fit some rest in there, so I'll take it. How was your
All
weekend? Besides
right.
work, how was your weekend?
My weekend was busy.
Busy.
But I am very grateful. I came in on the tail end of what Nell was speaking of. So
Mhm.
many prayers to that family and all other families who are going through any type of um, deaths or anything. I know Ebony just lost her grandfather. Many people. We are losing so many loved ones, and they don't even have to be old now. I mean,
Mm-mm.
they at just a blink of an eye, a young lady here, she was having headaches, earaches. They take her to the emergency room. Within 12 hours, she's dead. She had leukemia. So hug your loved ones, let people know that you love them. And as Nell said, we got to somehow embrace love more so than the hate, because there's so much hate, unnecessary hate out in the world today.
Absolutely. That's so true. So true.
Hmm.
Sis, never know. You just never know. So, like Karen said, love on your, hug on your loved ones, love on them because you just never know. It's just so much distress going on in the world and in families. The devil is definitely busy. So, love on your family for
Please
sure.
do. And with that, I'm just going to go into this little affirmation right here. You know, in order to love on your family or love on anyone else for that matter, you have to find a way to love yourself. Many of us walk around mad with the world. We don't even realize why we got that chip on our shoulders. We don't even realize that we're taking that chip, tossing it at the nearest people around us. We don't realize it until we've gone too far. But start recognizing when you got that heaviness, when you got that chip, to be careful not to throw that chip at other people just because you're having a bad day or whatever. Because when you don't throw that chip, then you don't get chips thrown back at you. Because with the way the world is today, hate begets hate, but love begets love. So let's learn to love on each other and start getting that chip, throwing it backwards out of our way.
Mm, a beautiful word, a beautiful word. Thank you so much. It's easy. It's easy though for that chip to be present sometimes, you know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah,
hone in on it and like you said, get it out of there. Get it out of there.
exactly. Exactly. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
ladies. Thank you. Thank you, Ebony.
Thank you,
So,
Ebony.
are y'all ready for tonight's show?
Yes, yes. Episode 119. We're moving right along. Thanks to all of those. I see some people saying that they shared the video, liked the video. Thank you so, so much. Shout out to all the members. If you are not a member, get on it. Rhonda, thank you so much for reaching out. She is, I believe, working on becoming the newest member. So shout out to Rhonda. And if you haven't gotten your membership, please, please, please reach out to one of us. We are here at your disposal to get you up and to get you up and running and tapping into some of them perks, right?
That's right. I mean, hey,
Okay.
y'all are missing out. If you're not a
Mm-hmm.
member yet, you are really missing out on some great perks.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Oh,
mean, on
Rhonda, we'll
Thursday, they
figure it
be
out,
wilding
Rhonda.
out. Look, they be wilding out. So, hey,
Uh-huh.
y'all become a member and you get to see some of those clips.
Yes, absolutely. And also the Uncensored Minds merch available. Make sure you hit us up for that. Locked in on your tees and your hoodies and all the goodies that we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much. They are giving us so much love, Ish.
Yes,
Thank
thank you,
y'all.
ladies.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
you. And the handsome Nell and his baby
Of
blue.
course. I love that baby blue.
Baby boy and his baby blue.
Thank you. So we're gonna get
Mhm.
right into tonight's icebreaker question of the day. Who was your favorite TV mom or movie mom?
Hands down for me, Miss Claire Huxtable.
God
Hands
dang it, Ish.
down for me. I'm
God
sorry.
dang it,
I
Ish.
figured, I mean, she is the quintessential, honestly. So I figured that she might be the one across the board anyway. Because if you really think back, sure, there were some monumental moms out there in the TV world and in the movie world that we can look back, you know, the Jennifer Lewis's, just a lot of different moms, whether it be movie or TV. But I think Claire Huxtable was the quintessential woman, black woman on the television screen that we could first go back and remember seeing her presence on the screen so strong, so um, just ever present, you know what I mean? And as a little girl, I remember, you know, just sitting every Thursday night at the TV, waiting for it to come on, just to see not only just her, but just the black family presence on the TV and how we were presented, you know, to the world. So I'm definitely going to say Claire Huxtable. She was beautiful, she was funny, she was smart. You know what I mean? She was a great wife. She was an awesome mom, and you know, she was about her business and she ain't play no games. So I loved her for that. So yeah, Claire Huxtable for the win.
So that was my first choice, but my backup choice, and this is a queen among queens, Florida Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Florida held that family down. They didn't have anything, but like a true hood mom, she kept her family together with what little bit her husband went out and made.
Mm-hmm.
She stretched it and she made sure that her kids stayed on point, stayed in line, regardless of the atmosphere that they lived in. So for me, I would have to say Florida Evans, hands down, was one of the best TV moms.
Nice. That's a good one for sure. Mm-hmm.
Can't get too far from the tree either. What Ish said is for me, it'd be Claire Huxtable growing up. She was our TV mom. And it translated on over to a number of different unforgettable roles on a different strokes. I mean, a different strokes.
A different world.
Different
A
world.
different world. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, her sister and such an amazing choreographer and dancer, Debbie Allen. Just those two ladies we grew up with, and we just come to know and love. And even to today, roles that she's played in, like Creed, the mother to Michael B. Jordan in the movie Creed 1 and 2. I mean, her role and her performances in them are legendary as well. So, Clara Huxtable, Felicia Rashad, as we all know her, her AKA, her real name is my choice for TV mom and TV show, favorite TV show.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. For sure.
Got people in the comments that are leaving their comments and saying, let's go to the comments and see what the people are saying when it comes to their TV mom.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer said, yes, Florida Evans is hers. She got love for love for love. A lot of people saying Claire, Diane,
Mm-hmm.
Brenda. A lot of people also, I mean, we got the mom from What's Happening.
That's a good one,
Oh
Rhonda.
yeah,
I was
that's a
looking
good
at
one,
that.
Rhonda.
She's a
Yes.
good one because she
Yes.
was a single mom and she handled things. Yeah, she's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Diana said her second choice would be Florida Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And Janine said that's the truth. Florida held it down.
Yeah.
A lot of TV moms. Can't forget Florida's show. What was her name? Penny's mom.
Thelma.
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 Thelma also was one of
Mhm.
the ones because she took Penny in, and Penny was an orphan. So you
Mm-hmm.
Right.
don't see too many people. You see a lot of people stepping. I can't say you don't see too many people. You see a lot of people stepping up. Foster children. Taking in. Those children who need that help and who needs love. And
Mm-hmm.
so shout outs to Thelma as well. Moving
Oh
right
yeah.
right along. Moving right along. We got a great show for you guys today. As I was opened up. I mean, the title of this episode 119 is called The Mom Power, where we're focusing our attention on moms. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. As you see right here, the icebreaker question opened up with the good.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to go to the bad or the indifferent next? And we're going to let Ish talk about this one.
All right. Well, if you haven't heard, as of late, within the past few days, a 30-year-old mother here in Montgomery County, which is very close to Philadelphia. It's one of the few counties outside of Philadelphia. A 30-year-old mother out of Montgomery County has been charged with her 6-year-old son bringing a gun to school. Now, he was on the school bus and he was brandishing the gun. And brandish is not a proper word because that's normally used in a crime, but he showed the gun to some of the other students on the bus. And when the kids got into school, some of those children, advised, school personnel and staff that, hey, this kid had a gun. And after, interviewing the child and asking him questions, etc., he stated that he got the gun out of his mother's drawer in her bedroom. And he also revealed that his 10-year-old brother also had the gun. And although he removed the bullets, he, was playing with the gun and pointing the gun at the younger brother. And then the younger brother then carried it to school. Luckily, it wasn't loaded. Luckily, the two brothers did not get harmed, and luckily, no one on the school bus or in the school had been harmed. But the mother is being charged with recklessly endangering another person and endangering the welfare of a child. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Some people are saying, hey, she shouldn't have been charged. It was one of those, situations where, she could have, just forgotten to put the gun up or whatever the case may be. She shouldn't be held at fault. And then other people are saying, hey, listen, you don't secure the weapon, you don't put it up, and this happens, then hey, you get charged. They can't charge a 6-year old. So mom, you get charged. So let's talk about it. Let's see what talk about what's going on with this, because this is actually the third time so far this year that parents are being charged with their 6-year-olds taking it to school. The latest was about a week or so ago down in Virginia, a mom, the same situation. So this is definitely a problem, and we need to talk about it.
Mm.
We need to talk about that because it's a problem.
It's sad. I mean, it's sad and it's scary. Um, for those that have kids that small that are in school, how can you send your child to school and not worry each day when you keep hearing things of this nature?
Mhm.
So, I mean, do schools not have like monitors to like monitor as the kids go in? I mean, something
Probably.
has to stop it, but it begins at home, of course.
Mhm, mhm.
Why would you leave a gun down for a 6-year-old to get? I mean, I make it make sense in Nell's voice. Make it make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she could have possibly ever thought that, no, none of the children would go in the drawer, but I mean, there's no way in the world you should ever think that a gun in any form, whether it's loaded or not, is safe in an unlocked case in a house with small children. Doesn't make
Mhm.
sense whatsoever. Now, what you think?
Unfortunate situation. Um, Again, it's easy to say sitting on the sidelines. It's easy to say sitting a million miles away or in the comforts of our own home or even detached from that environment. But this world crazy,
Mhm.
and the little protection that we do have, we gotta have it because of what's going on in and around us. I'm not making no excuses for the situation, but that's the world we live in now. One thing that we got to do is we got to start educating our children on what to touch and what not to touch. But also too, we got to take full responsibilities of our actions and the things that we put in front of our kids. Just think, how many times have you threw your cell phone, your iPad, or any kind of communication device in front of a child just so they can shut up, stop crying, stop fussing, so they can be occupied? But are we totally monitoring the things that we allow them to click onto or to enjoy while we get a moment of peace and quiet, or a moment of babysitting themselves so we can get our vibe on, or we can be or we could do what we need to do, right? Or we put out or we go out here and on Christmas time or birthdays or holidays and we buy these children these games, these shooting games and these fighting games. What that teaching them? That's not teaching them ABCs 1, 2, 3. That's teaching them the art of war,
Right.
how to
Mhm.
combat, how to shoot a gun better than us, how to load a gun better than us. So you ask yourself, how does a 6-year old get hold of something like this and then take it? One is not they're not being properly educated at home, but then two, the responsibility falls on the shoulders of the community. The community starting at home. One, the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, even the friends of the parents. It also falls on the shoulders of our educators and and all the people that are employed to foster these young people's growth. Then again, it falls on the onus of us as parents. My mother and father taught me we had guns in the house. Don't put your hands on that. Don't touch that. I'll break your fucking neck if you do. And I was afraid to touch it that I didn't want to even go near the cabinet, the drawer that was where it was housed at. My
Mhm.
first encounter with
Mhm.
a gun was about 14 years old. I had to open the closet to get something out. My dad knew I knew the gun was in there, but he knew I wasn't going to touch it because of the fear and not just fear, but the knowledge that he instilled into me, knowing that,
And you're right, Nair. I like that word fear because see, parents are afraid to instill fear in their kids today. I
yeah.
mean, they allow them to do exactly what they want. And that gives them the mindset that they are allowed, regardless of where they are, to do exactly what they want without consequences.
But I don't even
And
use the word fear. I want to take that word out the vocabulary. You know why you don't want to use the word fear? Because what I've noticed that with people who have fear, they will use that gun or they will use those instruments before they what be more or less than none because they are in fear.
Right.
Look at the cops that pull us over or attack us or shoot us and kill us. It's not because of anything but for fear. They are in fear of what they think we may do because of the color of our skin or our age or our or where we come from. So all the time, fear is not always good because it creates problems that we then have to clean up at the end. So it's more or less teaching, instilling a teaching method into each other to say, how can I teach my children what to do, what not to do, how to do it? Yeah, a little bit of fear is mixed into that because you hopefully you're in fear of your parents and not wanting to do anything to just to harm yourself, harm them, or place any distrust within them as well. So there's a lot of intangibles that come into that. We got to do a better job of curing our
Mhm.
children and their future.
Yeah.
bring up
And
T's
being
comment. I
responsible.
want to address T's comment. Kids are hard headed. I agree with that, T. And it says, what happened if the mom gets charged and then nobody's left to raise the child? The cycle continues. But T, let me ask you this. What happened if the mom is not charged and the child does it again? And this time somebody gets shot. So
Mhm.
that's a two-way street right
Yeah, it's
there.
a fine
I
line.
mean,
Definitely a
yeah.
fine
I
line.
mean, is the child really safe there?
Right.
And could be, you know what I'm saying, because mistakes do happen,
Right.
could be. But when you're looking at it from the legal eye, is the child really safe there?
Well, the gun wasn't even purchased legally. Let's start there. So that shows a level of irresponsibility straight from the gate. That's number
Right.
one. Number two, you're bringing that irresponsible behavior that you conducted outside of the home now into the home with two small children. So therefore, okay, you bought a gun through straw purchase. You might have a record, you might have a reason that you can't obtain a gun legally to safely own in your own home for protection, etc. But you can at least bring it into the home and be responsible. Lock it up.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids are
Right.
small. Okay, maybe like Nell said, we can talk to the children, we can sit them down and we can tell them, hey, listen, mommy has this gun here for protection. It will be locked up, but if you were to ever see it, don't touch it. You can, like, if you're going to school them, whatever the case may be. But it is going to start with the parents. It's going to start with the
I
individuals in the
agree.
home being more responsible and how they're keeping these guns. They're too easily accessible to these children. Way too easy. Way too
Yeah,
easy.
they are.
And it has to stop, so they have to start somewhere. And I guess they feel charging them is going to be the way to possibly get the parents to wake up and start being a little bit more responsible.
Let's play devil's advocate here. Let's play devil's advocate here because this is what we're supposed to be doing on this show, talking back and forth to understand. All right. How do you secure a gun that's supposed to be there to protect you in the event of something happening? Somebody break into your house. When somebody breaks in, you go into defense panic mode, not rational. Let's go through the fire escape drill mode. We go through
No,
panic
I
mode.
got you.
So somebody
I
comes
got
to
you.
the window and you got that gun locked up in a safe in the back of the closet. You get into that to protect.
You ain't got to go through all
But
those.
stay right there now. Stay right there.
You do got to go through those
have
things.
to do that.
And you hiding it from kids. You gotta think of all those type of things. It sounds great saying
Absolutely.
I agree. Let's lock them up. Lock the guns up.
Right.
But how do you then protect your family from if an intruder comes in there and they in the house and you searching for a key that's going to unlock this safe? You got to punch in codes, all this stuff. How?
But you don't necessarily.
All right, I got you. Stay right there, though. Exactly. I got you. Stay right there. That gun should be locked up until everybody in the household is ready to go night. Everybody got a shower. Everybody fed. Everybody ate. Okay, mom's in bed. Mom's in the room. Mom's about to take it down. I'm unlocking the gun. I'm placing it under my bed, on the side, in my dresser drawer, whatever the case may be. When we wake up in the morning and everybody is all safe and everybody is in one piece, then cool. I can lock the gun back up before the kids go to school. I'm going to get them off, blah, 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 blah. I am never going to leave a gun unattended in a house with a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. That means that we ain't sleeping and I'm not protecting the home. That means they're roaming around, fucking around in my stuff. And that's where the responsible part needs to come in. And I get it. You can't lock it up and protect your home and do all of that. You can't run and try to get in a safe or get in a lockbox if somebody breaking in your crib and they standing over you in your bed while you sleep. But that gun should never be unattended with small children in the house, period.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's amazing. But again, that's not real life here in America. That's not real life here in the hood. That's not real life nowhere. Did that officer know he was going to be shot last night in his head? No. So what happened? Again, somebody breaks into your house. You do not have time to unlock and unload and put this and throw the kids in the back and lock them in the room by themselves. You don't have time to do that. What about just locking your room, keeping them kids out your room? If you saying the guns is here in my bedroom, I wasn't allowed in my mom and dad room like that until I was a teenager. And
right, but that's the same thing.
It for me and come up out of it. The gun was on the side of where my dad slept. It was. We knew where it was at. We didn't touch it.
Right.
Two, my mother ain't buy us fighting games for us to know how to aim and shoot. My mother didn't even put toy guns in our hand because that ain't even what we was trying to represent.
That part, Nell, I would never buy my son a toy gun. People thought that I was weird for that, but I saw what it does. I just did not believe in that. I didn't believe in that. He couldn't get video games like the fighting games and stuff until he was like 12.
I love the fact that people are saying, let's secure the gun. Absolutely, let's secure the gun. Let's put the gun up. But y'all ever been in real life situations? Somebody breaking your shit and you in your bed sleep, and they standing over you, or you hear them downstairs, and you upstairs, and all you could do was get your gun and hope they don't come up there. Have you ever been in that situation? No, it's a different life situation when you haven't been put in those situations. So now you got to keep your gun on the dresser. It's the reason why we have people conceal their weapon on their hip and not in a suitcase or book bag, because it's easy to, if something pop off, you can easily get your shit and go.
And I do agree with that. Like each say, after they go to bed.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like it's a.
Do we lock knives up? Knives is just as dangerous and deadly as a gun. Guns are more powerful.
But you take precaution.
Knives up so the kids can't stab each other.
But you still take precaution.
No, we're not. We're not securing knives in our house. Them shits is laying out. You tell a kid to go get a butter knife in a second. You tell a kid to go do whatever in a second. Go make yourself a sandwich. He's got knives to his disposal.
Right, but I get it now.
Right there. We're not doing that.
Definitely.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
The steps that is taken first. Because I lived in a household where they didn't have to put the gun up.
Right.
We knew Me and my sister knew, don't touch. If you touch, I'ma kill you.
Yeah.
My dad was going to hurt us. So we had to worry about. It's about education first. You know, kids going to try you just because
Yeah.
they want to explore the unknown. They want to touch what you
Right.
stay away from.
Right. They're
So,
6. You got to think for them. You got to
so,
think
That's
for
right.
them.
so if you
That's
want,
why
I get
they
it.
have to be held accountable for
Yeah.
what their
I get it.
6-year-old do.
so if you going to lock the gun up, be able to protect yourself at the end of the day, put the bullet somewhere else. Take the cartridge out the gun or the bullets out the gun, put them somewhere else, and have just the gun there.
Right. Or just something when you are not next to it, and a possibility of the child walking in the room being, a little boy and being curious and poking and prying, and not, having a household like Nell's or like some of us where we couldn't go into our parents' room that was off limits, but they can roam free. You know what I mean? If you know there's a possibility that your child is going to come in, he's 6 years old. You have to think for him. You have to be the brain. You have to be the mind.
Absolutely.
So if ever that gun is left unattended, you have to be like, well, then put it on your head.
Absolutely.
Take it with you out the room. Take it with you down to cook breakfast. Take it with you to the bathroom. Or at that point, lock it up if there's a possibility that they may come in. The 10-year-old child took the bullets out and was playing with it and pointing at it. So where were you? Where were you? You were being irresponsible.
Moreover, how did the 10-year-old know how to take bullets out?
Right, that's my point. So I definitely understand
the
that
games that we buy,
yep.
the telephones that we put in front of them, the iPads. It's easy to look up on YouTube. YouTube shows you everything. YouTube will show you everything. So yeah, we sit up here and ask these questions, but are we as the grandparents? Are we as the aunts and uncles? Are we, even if we see, let's say you not necessarily in that home, but she your girlfriend, and you see weird shit going on while you over there, are you checking her? Are you checking them kids? I want my friends to check my kids. If my kid's doing something wrong, I give you full authority to do that. Are
you do that, Nell? Not everybody gives you that
would
authority.
you do it, KD? Would you check somebody's kid if they your friend?
Oh yeah, I'll check them.
Would you let somebody check your kid?
I'm not saying that they like it.
It don't matter if they
like you checking their kids.
It don't matter if they like it. That shit gonna say their child's life.
But this is the thing. We can check them all we want, but we're not there with them all the time.
But when you there, that's what I'm saying. We can have remedies. But if we're not projecting those remedies in real life, then we just all talk. We could say to a person all day long, she was wrong, he was right, they was whatever. But if we sit back and we allow these things to happen under our own visions, then we just as wrong as the mother.
And T, I do fight kids, so that's okay. We just go at it. I fight kids.
I'll beat a kid ass. That's what you're saying, Katie. I'll beat a kid ass.
Like I think our biggest downfall is our lack of attention to detail. We don't pay attention to things. And that's with people with kids, without kids. That's just everyday life. We just so consumed of what we got in front of us that we don't see what's in our peripheral vision. Sometimes we got blinders on. Sometimes we just want to see just enough that's going to get us to what we got, and that be it. And we got to stop looking like that, because at the end of the day, this affects us in all ways. That kid taking that gun in school could have been tragic. That kid could have shot a kid that could have been your grandchild or your niece and nephew. Now, two families are devastated. The one whose child that did the shooting, and the one who lost his life.
Absolutely.
How do we pick up the pieces? It's all about educating. Yeah, we can say all day long, lock the guns up. Yeah, but you can lock a gun up or put a gun game in front of them. What's good at locking the gun up?
I agree. I totally agree with that.
If you're showing me how to load the gun and shoot the gun, it don't matter if you lock the gun up, because I'm gonna find me another gun to shoot. That's the cycle that's going on in the world nowadays. They finding these guns. They getting their hands on this shit. carelessness on
Yep.
the behalf of the parents.
Mm-hmm.
We buy them these games. We give them this money. We don't chaperone them when it comes to getting in their business because we don't want them to be upset with us and have attitudes with us. So we try to be best friends with them instead of being parent and child.
Mm-hmm.
And, people,
Mm-hmm.
you can say that now because you don't have children. I know I don't. But at the end of the day, I still was raised as a child. And I know what that looked like coming up as a child and now being an adult. And how it got me to this point at 42 years old, how I know not to play with guns or put guns in the reach of people that don't have no business shooting them.
Right.
We could talk about
Craziness.
we're going to get into some of the comments. Like Cynthia said, that's the problem now. Where is that village to help raise these kids? Right? We talk the good shit after it happens, but we never are around when it's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nope. Stella May said it's just a sad situation because we don't know where her home life is. And we don't. She could have been getting her ass beat every day, or somebody could have broken into her home on several different occasions. We don't know the circumstances. And that's what I'm trying to say. We can have an optimistic view because we hear a story and we think the parent is always wrong. But just put yourself in those real life situations that go on every day in inner cities or even in the suburbs and see exactly what that situation was. Right? Angela said, what happened is we got away from the villages. People don't want you correcting their children nowadays, even family members, and it's sad.
That part.
That is very true.
That part.
They'll be right at your door, ready to rumble you. They be right at your door.
I mean,
as soon as you say something like, "Oh, that's not appropriate," or "Don't do that," "Don't mess with that," "You shouldn't be doing that," "Don't cuss," all of that kind of stuff. They'll be right at your door, ready to rumble you because you said something to their kid, and all you had is good intentions.
Then we rumbling. You know why we rumble? Because my child is outside in them streets. My grandchild is outside in the streets. My twins is out there in them streets. My babies is growing up. I don't want to see nothing happen to them. If you don't speak, if you don't want to check your child, I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Listen,
what's going on out here that I want to see grow up. So if you want to rumble, we can rumble. No, I'm gonna still check your child because that shit might save a life.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Ebony said we are one of the only countries that experience this many gun problems. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. Just to give you a brief background of what we talked about when I first came on, because some people just don't know what we were saying, is a young Philadelphia police officer was gunned down in a line of duty last night by an 18-year-old kid who came from the suburbs, a white kid at that, to do some carjacking here in the city. The cops seen him carjacking and went to intervene, and the kid shot him in his head, killing him. The 18-year-old kid was then apprehended at his home in Bucks County. This kid came from money. The home probably was about $2 million that he lived in. A white kid, family, officer, black. How you secure your gun then? How you watch out for yourself then? Ebony is right. It's ridiculous. The gun, it's out of control. Every other day we're hearing about a gun shooting. And you know what? We don't even get stunned anymore.
Sure don't. And that's the sad part now, is we don't be stunned anymore. We don't be surprised. We don't be shocked. It's sad that it has become the norm. It's sad.
We're going to go to two more questions before we roll over into our next topic. Valenia said, but it's crazy because they want you to keep their kids out of harm's way, but you can't control them.
Right.
And Angela said, you're right, Ish. My first cousin called me to the street because I corrected her child in the baby seat. And I babysit their badasses. Thank God they turned out good.
Right. Well, luckily they did, but she absolutely right. Like they will call you to the street, get a whole attitude about, just trying to. I can remember back when I was growing up, every neighbor checked me. I would be on a bus going to school on a charter bus, cussing up a storm. Somebody was there gripping me up. Watch your mouth, young lady, before I go tell Joyce. Before we got the right.
Your mouth.
Plus your mama got you when she got there.
Facts.
So hey, double ass whooping.
Exactly. And that's kind of what's needed today because parents can't be everywhere with their kids.
No,
so
though, we doing just this. Nah, get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Right? That's what we saying. When the kids is out here cutting up, the same way we was chastised and the way we was villaged coming up, you know what we saying? Nah, get somebody else to do it.
Not me. Not me. Ask how many times I had some arguments with some neighbors because I told their kids they need to cut it out or they need to move it back up there or stop that. Don't do that. Oh, I'm one of those.
The first blame goes to the law. When they took whipping away and tried to tell parents how they can, discipline their children. When they took that law right there, those kids took that shit to heart. They're like, you can't touch me. That's child abuse.
KD, the law ain't the number one culprit. It's you as the parent. If you let the law tell you can't whoop your kid's ass, you're fucking crazy.
Well, I'm just I didn't
whipping ass.
I got whooped.
Me.
And they told
this one right here did. But I'm just saying
around with the cops.
Of what the problem is
take his bad ass with y'all then. And let him see that.
I agree.
Other side of this threat.
I totally agree.
So if you allow the law to dictate how you discipline your kids, I say shame on you. Shame on you. Because your child is going to see life ain't easy on the other side of this door.
Listen,
you ain't got it.
Call him.
Just ain't call him.
That's it.
And I would tell them I call because by the time they get here, they're gonna have a reason.
I guarantee.
And you know what's so crazy, KD? Speaking exactly on that, then they now say the parents are not disciplining their children as they should. That's the reason why, because they're afraid, because DHS got involved, or DHS is the Philadelphia version, or the Pennsylvania version, DHS. Well, they got involved, and now you could be charged with child abuse or whatever the case may be. But now, when the kids is unruly and out of control and on the street and cutting the fuck up, now it's the parents' fault. Okay, well, pick a side. Decide what y'all want. You know what I mean? Because it's out of pocket.
I picked the side of ass whooping. We getting one.
Facts.
That was a great topic. Thank y'all for chiming in and helping us move that topic forward. Hopefully, this is a learning lesson to anyone out there because it could be us. It could be us in the line of fire, but it could be us facing these challenges or having to need to sit down with someone who is going through these various issues and problems with their children. So just equipping your mind to see things from a different perspective and a perspective of help.
I just want to acknowledge JC in the comments. JC, you're gonna have to let me know who that is. I know we can't say on here, but local coach went to jail for disciplining her child. You'll have to let me know who that was. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Now she trying to discipline her child, but then she go to jail for it. I mean,
yeah, it's got to be some boundaries in regards to, I mean, you could look at how many times we've spoken in regards to I forget the basketball player, or it was some sort of sports player who just was disciplining his child in the airport and got arrested. I mean,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like
I remember that.
What are the boundaries that are there in regards to the disciplining. You know, it's
Exactly.
I know are individuals who abuse children and, you know, take things overboard and all of that stuff, but where does the line get drawn in regards to what is considered, you know, disciplining, what is considered, you know, child abuse? And they seem not to know the line, because if you could get arrested for smacking your child, that's fucked up.
Yep.
I got $50,
Yep.
Sarah.
There we go, Sarah. That's what I'm
I
talking
got
about.
$50 for your books.
Mm-hmm.
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 So we go on
Wow.
about this topic. We're going to transition. Again, this is the Mom Podcast this Sunday evening here, and we're going to go right into the next topic. And we got a video for you. This comes with a video, so I need you to pay attention, listen intently, and decide which aisle you're on. Are you on the side of the mother, or are you just like, what are you talking about? Oh boy, this is crazy right here. This is crazy.
My son is not coming home today. At this point, I don't even know if I want him to ever come home. I really hate his dad, and it makes it so hard for me to like and care for him the way a mother should. Y'all will probably drag me in my comments, but I have to live in my truth. My baby daddy was bragging about how he took my virginity, and he kept bringing up old things that aren't even co-parenting related. So I told him that I fucked his best friend first, and that I never cared about him. I hate co-parenting with him because he won't let go of the past. We've been broken up for 10 years now, and honestly, being with him is one of my biggest life regrets. But how do you look your own kid in their face, knowing that it's impossible for you to fully love them the way a mother should because you hate their dad? The disagreement was so stupid and simple, but it resulted in my son showing up to school 4 hours late. Usually I would remove him from that situation, but this time, instead of taking him away, I'm making him stay.
I think we all got the same face. Like, what?
Yeah.
The
If you're not affected by this video, just somewhere deep down in your heartstrings, yeah, this one is pretty heavy.
You know, it's so heavy. I want to play it again. I don't think the first play that you got the full gist of it. Let's play this one more time. And I really want you to listen and
Can
pay
the volume go up? Let me turn my volume up. I couldn't hear her. Okay.
My son is not coming home today. At this point, I don't even know if I want him to ever come home. I really hate his dad, and it makes it so hard for me to like and care for him the way a mother should. Y'all will probably drag me in my comments, but I have to live in my truth. My baby daddy was bragging about how he took my virginity, and he kept bringing up old things that aren't even co-parenting related. So I told him that I fucked his best friend first, and that I never cared about him. I hate co-parenting with him because he won't let go of the past. We've been broken up for 10 years now, and honestly, being with him is one of my biggest life regrets. But how do you look your own kid in their face, knowing that it's impossible for you to fully love them the way a mother should because you hate their dad? The disagreement was so stupid and simple, but it resulted in my son showing up to school 4 hours late. Usually I would remove him from that situation, but this time, instead of taking him away, I'm making him stay.
So, what you've just watched was a mother saying she doesn't want her 6-year-old son to come home because of the hate that she has for his father. Every time she sees her son, it reminds her of her baby's father, of his father, and she just can't take it anymore. You ladies, as mothers, hearing something like that, and I get it. I'm gonna let y'all say it. As mothers, I want y'all to give y'all take on that.
I mean, listen, as a mom, I can really say that this like kind of hurt me to my core for several reasons. I took this video in as a whole, you know what I mean, from just both sides, from the outside looking in and from a person who is a mother and who has been through changes, right? So I kind of was able to look at it always objectively. But this shit hurt. This shit hurt. I watched this multiple times. This shit hurt. First and foremost, when you bring a child into this world, they don't ask to be here. You make a conscious decision, whether it's, I'm going to say you should make a conscious decision that the reason that you're bringing a life into this world is to love, to nurture, to protect, etc. Not on the basis of a love that you believe you have, possibly had with the procreator, the other person that you're procreating with. That's what's the sad part, because she relied her love for her child on the love or the lack thereof in that man. And that is wild to me. That is wild to me. How hurt, how triggered do you have to be to say, I do not love or care for my own flesh and blood because of what this man did to me, because of how he triggers me, because of how he treated me, because of how I don't love my kid because of that shit. That is some deep shit. She has some deep-rooted issues. And it's unfortunate that child will never have the motherly love that he deserves. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments, and that was my first thought, is she need help because of what she has done, because she need that mental help. Her child will always be in need of some type of healing, because this has to, I know for a fact that it's damaging to her child. I know without a doubt that it's damaging.
Gotta be
Damaging
out.
things have been said to my son, not by me, but damaging things have been said. And for him to know that his mom does not want him, first of all, she's not over his father. There's no way she can be over him. I mean, the young lady herself, she really and truly needs some help. Mm-hmm. She needs help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She definitely needs help. And people were saying, like, if you read some of the comments, people were saying that, okay, well, she came to social media, she let it out, and she, she expressed the fact that she's having these thoughts and she's, feeling herself that this is not right.
Right.
And we should commend her for that. But I feel like the first step she should have taken was speaking to someone, like talking to a therapist. Social media can be an outlet for many things and many people, but I mean, certain things, is so deep rooted and so painful and so disturbing and so horrible that you really need to seek help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Help.
Wow.
Now you crying.
Yeah, you know why I'm crying? I sit back and I take it in. I take in the conversation from the mothers. I take in the conversations from you ladies being mothers and giving birth and mothering children. But then I hear what she's saying. And it's almost like a cry for one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asked all the time, always that, no, why don't you have any children? You're a beautiful young man. You're a beautiful young man. Whatever the case. Why don't you have children? There's nothing wrong with you. And in this situation right here is one of the reasons why I don't. I never wanted to have what I had growing up. And I had some amazing shit. I had a man who took care of me as if I was his very own. Took me and my mother in and gave us a life. Right? But on the other hand, I had the non situation over here with my biological father, who now I have a great relationship with. But I didn't want to have my child over here, I'm over here, and they over here, because two-parent dynamic is a motherfucker. It's beautiful when it's done right. And this is a cry out for help because she's lacking that help and support that she wants from the father. She wants that family. She's crying. She's saying she hates him, but she hates the fact that they're not together. Because if the worlds were perfect, they would be a family. And she hates the dynamic of how it is right now. And she's seeing the very thing that they created together and probably is a spitting image of him, and hates the fact that he is not there along with them. But it's crazy, on the other hand, to say that you hate your child because of that situation. Maybe choosing different words, but when you're mentally unstable, your mental health is not right. You're not truly in the sense of yourself, right? And that's where I feel like she's at. And yes, I hate people that run social media, but in her case, I think she's crying out for help and looking for answers and searching for a way to get help for this. Because far too often do we see in other situations where parents fucking kill their kids, do something crazy to their kids, throw them off bridges and cut their heads off like mothers have done in the past. This is a cry for help.
Did you see Tara's comment, Nell?
Nah, I was too busy articulating mine, but
she said there she said there is another video. The father actually came. Yeah,
I think that was very big of him to do.
Yeah. And that's what and she felt that she needed. But she's going about it all the wrong ways.
Right.
But the right way. Right? I actually think it's commendable of her to just speak in her truth. Far too often do we get criticized for being truthful. We're called dumb. We're called stupid. How could you? You're not a mother. You're low life and scumbag. But people want you to be honest and truthful all the time. But the moment you're honest and truthful, you're castrated for it. I applaud her for coming out and speaking her truth because it's going to allow her to heal. It got her an apology. Maybe the father's seen, maybe I could be an issue causing you to feel like that. Let's discuss this. Let's get in front of this. Let's see where the true problem is laying underlying, and let's fix it. Maybe it's a conversation that they needed. Maybe it was a simple, I'm sorry. Maybe it was a simple, I do love you. You never know. But I don't know.
This is true. The prophet versus the shit starter. What are your thoughts?
Oh, wow. We got them both.
Yeah, y'all getting them both tonight because I got beef with y'all, man.
Okay. Let me get me something to drink. This calls for a drink.
What we done
I got
did.
beef with y'all, man.
I
don't want to speak on the situation because I'm gonna go in depth in it on the next topic. But I just want to say that a lot of times this comes from like being lost in your emotions when you lose control. So that's all I'm going to say on this, but I'll get deeper into this on the next topic.
Okay.
Where you gonna?
What you say?
You're gonna lock
with a hammer.
Man, listen. The reality of that gun situation is that most people in the hood, they don't have guns, safes, and locks and all of that shit. And even if you did, that would be kind of a detriment because by the time you go through all that, that would have been your ass. So, the facts of the matter is that nobody wants their kids to have access to the gun. You can tell them as much as you want, don't touch the shit. But being a badass little kid myself, I would have still touched the shit. Yeah, I would have still touched the shit. So it's like, situation, both double-edged sword. Like either way you go about it, you just in a fucked up situation. Like I was saying in the comments, we don't know her situation. We don't know what's going on in her house. We don't know why she had the gun. If it was for protection, we don't know all these factors. So I'm not going to judge her. What I wanted to say was that be mindful in the charging her, because once again, who's going to take care of these kids? I was watching something on TV about women locked up, and people always never look at that side of it when they have children. This is the mom part, so this, plays basically into that. Who takes care of these kids when women get locked up?
Them women, let me tell you, we have multiple clients that are behind bars having to serve some time, and they have to scramble to find someone to care for their children while they're either serving a sentence, or if they've got arrested and not afforded bail or can't afford to get bailed out. They're scrambling, trying to find the next closest person. Now, whether it be mother, sister, their mother or a sister or a cousin or somebody. But then, there are times where there are no family members to step in and be able to help. And then what happens then? The child is then in the system and then in child, services. So, I mean, it's a sad situation. That's a sad situation. And to think about it, like she's purchasing that straw purchase, whether she beats the recklessly endangering another person charge or, endangering the welfare of a child, even if she beats those or if she accepts a plea deal or something like that for probation or whatever, she still got to face that straw purchase.
Facts.
So that's not.
But what I was saying, Ish, is that a lot of times people look down on those people in those situations, and to be like, you can say all this, but you're also on the other end of that going to be like, damn, she got killed because she wasn't protecting herself in a domestic situation, and she filed and got a restraining order, and y'all didn't give a fuck, and it can go on and on and on.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I just feel like I see it so much and I see it far too often. I feel like, and we all see it so much in the media, and even more so now lately, that just as parents, we just have to take that little extra step. That's it. Just that little extra step to just see how we can control it landing in it. And I know it's impossible.
There is no control. Right. So I'm gonna say, Nell, we have a friend who his son was killed because he found his gun in his pocket, and the son shot himself and killed himself. But this father also jumped in front of his baby mom and got shot a whole lot of times, and that's why he had the gun to protect himself.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, there is no control.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like we can come up with remedies for situations, but how do we fix what's going on outside?
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes spills in.
I totally get it.
You know what I mean? Happens outside comes inside. You got to protect it.
Right.
And then, like as you said, you charge that lady. She takes those charges. She get probation. Now her record is staying. Now she got to work 2 and 3 jobs because the job that she had don't want no felons, don't want none on your record. Now she got to work 2 and 3 jobs, waitressing in these bullshit ass jobs because nobody don't want to hire her because she got to stand on her record. And now she not home to take care of her kids.
Right. So let me ask y'all this: what consequences should happen because this happened with the child?
Education.
Something need to happen.
Why?
Right. Because I mean, here's the thing.
It was wrong, Nell. What if next time the child get the gun to school, they shoot somebody? So there has to be consequences.
KD, what if she didn't have access to that gun and somebody killed her? What about those consequences?
Again, consequences are going to be made either way.
Okay. So how about
if the mother is not being held responsible, Who's going to be held responsible?
No, she has to be held responsible. But what I'm saying is the level of that responsibility. You have to take into account the circumstances and the situation that she's in.
I do agree with that. Give her probation or something. Community service.
What does probation do but limit you from doing and being what it really is? It shackles you.
Right.
No, because with that, usually they are allowed to go to work. They are allowed a certain number of hours to go to the store and then come home.
Wait a minute, KD, have you ever been on probation before?
No, I have not, but I've seen
because you're not allowed all these allowances. You have to do your probation shit and your community service shit comes first. All that other shit comes after that.
You can go to work. I've known people who I've known people who got locked down.
KD, hold on. KD, if I'm going to work and I have to do community service and I'm on probation, how much of a limitation do you think that puts me in towards my kid?
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to ask. When are you kids? When are you doing things with your kids? They're left
at night when you get home.
When you get home, you gotta do. You just said you at work. You gotta go to work and do community service, and you're on probation.
No, normally they schedule community service when you don't have to go to work. There are ways to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
But listen, that's not always true.
That's what I'm saying.
What kind of punishment would y'all give her then? You said she gets some, but so what would she get?
Training.
I said I need to see what her circumstances is.
Educating her on how to lock it up properly, put it away properly, do whatever. You don't. I don't.
That's not punishment.
I can't.
We want to.
You want her to have, Katie? Like, you want her to go to jail?
If you want to punish this woman for a mistake that she's protecting her family,
right?
But listen, we want to punish the mothers or the fathers or the parents of the mass shooters, the shooters that go and shoot up, and we want to, and they do that on, their own, those kids, pretty much plan this shit and do that behind their parents' back. But we want to hold the parents accountable for that action. These parents should be held accountable too. And I get it. And I totally understand being a single mother, being in a house where there was, a gun or two or four guns at the time that I was raising my son, etc. But we have to be held accountable. Let's
stay there. Are we really accountable? Are we really holding everybody accountable to the same factions? Right. Because if I recall, the kid that got off for taking the gun to the riots was underage, took the machine gun rifle down to the protesters and was threatening to shoot people. His mother and father didn't get locked up, and she drove him to the damn protest.
Right.
He got off. She got off. Nothing happened to them. But we locking up this black mother because of this. So make it make sense, please.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So I said, if we gonna say these people need to be punished, the mother of the boy who ran down there with the machine gun to the protest and was threatening to shoot people and showing guns and scaring people and all that should be locked up the same way this young mother is locked up.
And I totally have no problem with that. I agree. But different states have different rules.
It should be blanket. It should be blanket.
I know it should be, but we are in America.
That's why.
So you're saying, so basically what you're saying is that the hood.
That's why I would never let it outside.
Hood should be penalized, but
no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying anybody. I don't care if they live in Bel Air, wherever, anyone.
So where's the rehabilitation?
Hold on. Now let me ask KD a question. So KD, in the circumstance that I presented earlier with my friend, right? He had got shot. He had a gun to protect himself. His son found the gun and killed himself. They locked him up, and he did like 7-8 years off of that. So before he can even grieve from his son dying, he had to go to jail and do like 7 or 8 years. You think that's fair? That's right?
No, that's not fair at all. No. That was not fair. That was not fair at all. But I'm saying when a child, and now there was this instance where these other another child did the same thing, nothing was done. I'm just saying some form, even if it is rehabilitate the parents, send them to a class for, so once a week on how to keep your gun out of, keep it at the safety of the kids. Some form of something need to be done. I'm not saying lock her away. I'm not saying that. But some form of
But you want,
discipline need
but
to
you
be
want,
done to
Yeah.
her.
but you want her to have probation. You want her to have community service. She has a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. You go to work, you come home after work, you do your probation, you do your community service. Okay. What time do you have to take care of this 10-year-old and the 6-year-old?
They make it work. If it came down to that, they make it work.
Once again, ladies. Hold on now. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, she's never been on probation, so she doesn't know.
So what if probation was home, go to work,
right,
then home until it's time to go back to work?
Right.
How are you policing these 10 and 6-year-olds from now not wanting to cause a muck and being a parent to these 6-year-olds? I mean,
You said they're going home and then going home from work.
Right? They gotta go do their community service and they on probation.
They can do that on a Saturday morning. Do 8 hours.
It not work like that, Katie.
It don't.
It
Unfortunately,
like
it
that.
don't. It don't.
It do in the South.
Yeah, Philly is crazy. They listen. These Philly POs.
Oh well, it does here in the South.
Off the hook.
They'll do it on a Saturday and a Sunday if necessary, but
they don't. If necessary, Katie, that's up to their determination. They're not going to voluntarily say, "Well, since you're busy with your kids, I'm going to allow you to do this." No, they don't give a fuck about your kids. If they want you to
again, they do here in the South.
I don't agree with.
I'm lost.
It's a slippery slope.
That's a very slippery slope.
Slippery, and the reason why I say that is because in Ab's comment is she wasn't parenting them in the first place if both children had the guns at different times anyway.
I agree, Ebony.
That's not true. That's not true, KD. If you're not home and I'm running through your shit, that don't mean you're not parenting. That just mean I was
listen. But then that's where, and see, this is what I'm saying, and I totally agree. I listen. I understand the logic and the argument, but listen to what you're saying. You're out of the fucking house, and the kids are home alone. But why is the gun easily accessible? That's where it comes down to responsibility.
Wait a minute.
I'm not protecting the house if I'm not there. The kids got access to it.
The gun don't have to be easily accessible. If I want to find and get the motherfucker,
let's talk about this specific case. The gun was in the top dresser drawer, easily accessible. We're gonna talk about this specific case.
Okay, we can stay right there.
Right.
My dad's gun used to be on the floor by his bed.
Yeah.
Right, but then that goes back. Right, but that goes back to what Nell said. Y'all knew better than to go in. Y'all knew better than to fuck around. Y'all knew better than to touch shit.
You're from Southwest.
Yeah.
Three of us from Southwest.
No.
She's not from Southwest. She's not from Philly. We have row homes. Our rules are attached.
Right.
I done seen homies, I won't say their names, break into homes, climb from house to house, sit down in somebody's kitchen, have a bowl of cereal, in somebody's house that they're robbing. So you tell me, I'm laying there with my lady, we laying in Southwest right now, and somebody breaking my house in my bedroom, and I'm supposed to jump up, babe, go in the back room. Let me fight this nigga off while I try to grab my gun out the safe, out the closet.
Right.
Then try to shoot him and protect us all?
Hold on, though, because Ish was saying earlier about how you said, your parents made sure that you wouldn't touch it. Mm-hmm. Ish, my dad made sure that I wouldn't touch it, and I knew I would get fucked up. But guess what you think I was going to do when he wasn't home?
He was going to touch it anyway.
The fuck?
And you know how I touched it? My dumb ass seen TV, so I got a t-shirt. So my fingerprints wouldn't be on it. Like my dad was going dusting for Prince or something. I got one of my t-shirts, took your t-shirt and playing the gun, holding the gun up, waving the gun, looking like I ain't shoot no damn body. Put the gun down, but I touched it 1,000,000 times. And this is after I was told not to touch it. So I had the wherewithal enough to know if I touch it with my fingerprints, if someone got killed, they was going to block me up, dummy. But that doesn't mean Aaron and Frank wasn't parenting. They were.
Right.
But you don't know until the situation presents itself. What if that lady's house was robbed 8 times over the course of her living there, and she got 2 boys in there, and all she got is herself.
Right.
I got you. But in our times, it was different. Our parents, I get you. Our parents was way different. It's just a different day and age right now. It's just a different time where, you know, there are going to be parents parenting, and there's just going to be some parents that just don't give a fuck. And so that's where the slippery slope comes in.
Hold on. Can y'all explain this to me? So what does that mean as far as gun safety? Does that mean as far as putting a gun in a safe? Because I could watch my dad go in his safe and figure out the combination. So, I mean, what are we talking about? I was a badass kid. I definitely paid attention to every fucking thing.
Right, but at least the efforts were made, because not all kids are badass kids. Not all kids are going to be defiant.
Right.
So
but what I'm saying is that you can make these precautions. That's not going to always stop a motherfucker from doing what they want to do.
You're absolutely right. And it doesn't. It's taking a precaution. It's taking the steps. And I get it.
All right,
I don't
let's stay right
disagree.
there. All right, let's stay right there. So say the gun wasn't easily accessible in this case. Say she did put it in a safe and the kid went in the safe and took the gun. Should she still be charged?
No, because the necessary precautions and steps were taken to secure the gun, whether the child was being defiant or not. She did what she was supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
She did. So no, she shouldn't be charged.
But you know she's still going to be charged though, right?
But
you know she's still going to be charged though, right?
So the gun was
and if that's the case,
if your child brings a gun to school, no matter if you locked it up and put it in a safe or not, you will still be charged. Y'all can sprinkle this shit with sugar as much as y'all want to. That ain't going to change.
I'm just saying, you were saying, should she be charged? Well, no, I don't feel like she should be charged, absolutely and positively. But of course, with the gun laws in the PA or in any state right now, she's going to be charged. Absolutely.
Right. Concealed? Was it put up?
Right.
She had it in her drawer. It was put up. Right. The gun wasn't laying out on the sofa, on her bed, on the floor. It was in her drawer. Right. Is that
all right? So we were
the weapon?
Absolutely.
Because and working in the law, working in law. If you put your gun in your trunk, that's still concealed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
As long as your bullets in, like going over to Jersey, you got to put your gun magazine in your glove compartment and your gun in your trunk. Right? Mm-hmm. Going through certain states that don't allow you to carry if you don't have a license to carry, right? Transporting. If that gun was in her drawer, did she not put it up? If they found it, they found it.
Right.
All right, so let me ask y'all this. Who would you rather the law protect? Like, when we place laws and when we put laws in place or Congress put laws in place or whatever the case may be, would you rather it protect, the mother who may not necessarily have bad intentions and may have forgotten to lock it up or may be out or whatever, or a defiant young, child that wants to tap in, or because that then protects the parents who are endangering the welfare of a child and don't care. So where does the law, like, what would we rather see?
Can I go?
Yeah. What would we rather see?
What I would rather see is the law protect this woman when she says she's getting her ass beat. I would rather see the law sit outside or put cop cars on certain blocks that they know is doing dumb shit. I would rather see all of these things happen first so she don't have to go get this gun. That's what I would rather see. Okay. I mean, that's just
versus rather being a parent who just don't give a fuck about their kids and allowing this shit to take place and them accidentally dying and not being charged for it.
Right.
Okay.
That would be the ideal vision.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't live in a world like that, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, are we going to talk honestly, or are we going to talk in what they say we should say?
Yeah, honesty.
Well, I say,
a little more.
I say, you got a gun, be fucking responsible. Like y'all parents was responsible. Y'all, whether y'all went to go touch it or not, you knew better. You might have been defiant. You might have touched it. You might have picked it up, and you fucking put that shit back. Nell put his shirt over it or whatever the case may be. These kids is carrying these guns to school. These kids is putting them in their backpacks. These kids is loading them and unloading them and whatever the case may be. Like
that could have easily been me though.
Thing. What if she did talk to her sons?
That's what I'm saying.
What if somebody was bullying him at school, or he taking it because he thought it was cool to take to school because he see it on videos, because we let kids watch these videos on YouTube and play these games. What happens if she was doing everything that we said she doing and this kid was just being a kid?
Right.
How do we combat that?
Right. Yeah, I know. It's difficult.
Do you punish that? Because Tara's dad told her no. Her granddad said, "Don't touch it, Tara." She touched it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They told her don't touch. She still wanted to touch it because she wanted to know why she shouldn't touch it. She didn't take it to school because they caught her. I put a t-shirt on it because I knew it was wrong.
Right.
I knew it was wrong, but I still did it.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you then? At what point do we say? How do we educate this? If the kid is going to do what they're going to do, even if the parent is taking every step to secure this gun, teach them, don't touch, whatever. How do we then do this?
Whoop their ass.
But you
whoop their ass.
Katie, I got my ass beat, and that didn't mean a damn thing. I'm still going to be back.
Whoop that ass.
Yeah, you whoop
right.
What happened?
Whoop it right. Yeah, straight
the
up.
first time a 6-year-old touched the gun.
I got fucked up. That didn't work.
I'm sure this is the first time that 6-year-old touched that gun with her knowing, because she probably would have whooped his ass and put it somewhere where he couldn't get to it.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe she would not have, because they don't whoop kids now. That's the thing.
Why are you saying this? Why are you saying this?
Because they don't, T.
Who don't? I will whip my kid's ass right now, Katie.
Yeah. all 4 of us, where we would do it, you have 10 others that don't.
Mm-hmm. And these kids out here, they run they folks.
Anybody?
Period.
Anybody?
It's kids out here that run they folks.
Look, anybody I know that don't whip their kids' ass, I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right, but you have to remember too, like a lot of us from our time and our day and age, you know, our kids is getting up there in age. You have a lot of the younger parents right now who don't come off the same principles as far as raising their children too. So, and that's not to say all parents nowadays, the younger generation, are not raising their kids right. I'm not saying that by any means, but what I am saying is that they're raising their kids very different now than from when we were raised or from when we were raising our children. And that's just the hard fact, is that this shit is different now.
So you saying the generation under us is not whipping their kids' ass?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're raising them differently. You're going to have some motherfuckers that's whipping the shit out their kids, that's disciplining and instilling them the right things to do, and then you also have those other individuals who is letting social media and television and all of that raise their kids. Period.
All right, that's a good point. But when they go to grandma and grandpa's houses, grandma and grandpa doing the same goddamn thing mommy doing. Is grandma and grandpa putting the phone in front of saying, all right, just be quiet, because I want to chill and watch my stories. Or chill, I want to relax. I want to do whatever. Right. Or chill, I got company coming over tonight. Your little ass need to be in bed doing whatever you need to do, but shut the hell up. Are they going to grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle house who was raised the right way and still getting the same treatment they got at home?
Grandma and grandpa sitting at home in the corner scared as hell because they ain't never seen nothing of that.
Hey, Stop with the false.
I'm serious, Nell. I'm serious.
Let's live in the
I've
real
seen
world for a
it.
minute.
My mom will whip my kid's ass. I don't know what you talking
I mean,
about.
hell, I
Yeah.
would too, but
My
I'm
mom
telling you
tore
now,
my son
these
up.
little badass kids today, they would jack up their grandparents.
You
They
know
don't care
why?
about-
You know why they would? Because these grandmothers and grandpops want to be their fucking brother and sister to these kids.
No, the
They want
grandma and grandpa
they want to be
not
on
to
TikTok,
blame.
popping and locking their ass the same way they kids doing.
Well, yeah, some of them are, yeah.
So they don't have
they
no
are.
fear. It is no disconnect
That
from
they
mom,
are.
grandmom, sister, auntie. It's just no. It's like no. It's nothing. No authority. But the grandparents, if all right, we saying these the junior generation is wild. Where they get their wildness from? What did we forget something as a parent? Because we are the parents of this wild generation that's growing up. Fair. We the grandparents of this wild ass generation. So did we stop being parents the way our parents was parents to us? Fair. Did we say, I don't want to be a parent to my kid, I want to be a friend to my kid, I want them to like me so much that I'm going to stop parenting? Or am I going to parent and whoop their ass the same way my parent whooped my ass?
Right. But then you do have to remember now.
Right.
Yeah, but you do have to realize too, some of the grandparents get younger and younger.
Right.
Yeah.
So and like with us, we would be tough grandparents. We would be making sure our grandchildren doing everything that they need to be doing, etc. But you got some that's a little younger than us that might not.
But that's true. But are we, even the older grandparents, even the ones that got a hold of their household, are we then putting when our grandchildren come over, are we letting them lay on the couch for hours in front of their phone and their tablets? Are we checking homework? Are we checking them to ask them what they ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, how to multiply and divide? No. As long as they cooling, as long as they not bad talking us, and as long as they got some sort of whatever, they're not really checking. I've been over a number of people's house that got kids. And they, as long as the kid ain't running around wilding, when they got company, they cool. They don't worry about none of that.
I agree, Nell.
The things that they take in and digest, they saying, here go my phone, go to YouTube. Here go the remote, do your thing. Oh, little Johnny in his room playing the game, been in for 8 hours. He ain't come out, only going to get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He cool. Right. So we can beat the parents up, but then we got to beat ourselves up too, because we all are that village. If we were village, what happened to us villaging? We got so many excuses why we can't village. Oh, if you village, somebody going to call the cops on you. Oh, somebody going to want to fight you. Oh, somebody going to say this and say that. And that shit going to save a life, save a life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I ain't finna go to jail for somebody else's child. I damn escaped with mine.
That's the problem, KD.
Yeah,
it's the problem.
No, it's not my problem. I'm sorry, but it's not.
So you wouldn't go to jail for somebody else's child, but somebody else can almost take your life or your child's life?
I'm not going to jail by whooping somebody else's child when they are not whooping their own child. I'm not going to risk myself going to jail.
Why are you going to jail for that?
Because you put your hands on a child, now you're going to jail.
I fucked a lot of kids up in my day. Y'all know what you're talking about.
I messed my own kid up now.
Shit.
I did get my own kid.
But
when kids was fucking with my kids when they were small, I would go outside and fuck them kids up. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't know what you talking about, KD.
By no means is this a personal attack. But how can, if we taking the stance of I'm not going to do none of this shit, I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy for nobody else's kid, how can we offer up our opinions about anything? We should just sit back and say nothing. Because at that point, the moment you say that, your point becomes mute and void. Mm-hmm. You have no ground to stand on if you're saying, I'm not going to go to jail for policing nobody else's kid. Then how can you speak on anybody else's kid?
You know what, Nell? You can sit up there and say that all day long, but if given the choice, you are not about to go to prison for whooping somebody else's child when they don't even try to discipline their own child, because no amount of discipline you give, if they're not getting that discipline at home, no amount of discipline you try to give that child is going to stick.
You don't know Darnell Sharif Gathers then. I'm not even point, I'm Darnell Sharif Douglas, because that means I'm not being true to myself. If I will stand up and whoop somebody's kid's ass, if it will save their life in the future, I would. Somebody whooped my ass. Somebody was hard on me. Somebody spoke up to me when my parents wasn't there to do it. So I'm going to do it to them.
Hey, no, what they call that? A G check.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think too, that's from our upbringing in our neighborhood.
I'm not gonna lie. When it
Yeah.
comes to somebody else's child, it's got to be my grands. I will get their asses. I get theirs.
I think
But
it was
when
instilled in
somebody
us.
else, the
Yeah,
neighbors or whatever.
saying.
Yeah, I would try. If the child is going in the road, hey baby, come out that road. I'm not about to go up and try to whoop nobody else's child.
You wasn't.
I think it's different for us. For South, we was raised different. Our
following,
neighborhood was way different.
Wasn't following me from the beginning. People, I'm gonna direct my comment right now to the people in the comments that been with Friday Night Lights since the start. I had a friend by the name of Baines, one of my best friends. Grew up with this guy since I was 10 years old. He had a son, his oldest son. His name is Kaim. I can speak on this because Baines wouldn't have a problem with it. I took Kaim one day and went on live. And Kaim, I took him around me that day because he told me the working man is a sucker. And I took that man to every work site that I possibly can and had him working to see if the working man was a sucker. And by the end of that conversation, he said, Uncle Nell, I just wanted to come to you and say, you know what? I apologize for the disrespect. One, the working man is not a sucker because I see how my dad go out here each and every day, and I don't think my dad is a sucker, and he is a working man. Plus, I got respect for you, T, Beans, Mike, O, all our cast of guys that he's grew up around. And see, I know y'all are hardworking men, and y'all not suckers. I will take you. I took him around for hours and had him doing work and chastising him as if I gave birth to him. And his father did not say anything to me, but thanks, bro. So when it comes to being a stand-up dude, that means standing up to whatever. If it's going to save a life, especially those and ones that I love. Because what happens when you get a phone call in the middle of the night? No, my son just got killed. That's heartbreaking. O had to go through that. Right. We had to go through that as his friends to get that phone call and then be there for our friend. Right?
Or I get that, Nell. That's what I'm not saying that. I'm saying a stranger's child.
I'm going.
Ebony's child, yeah. Ebony know that I would get her children behind anytime.
Hey, if there's a kid on my block, I don't know. I'm going to jail over them. You know why? Because what happens if Saya or Dior is outside playing and somebody hurts them, or any other kid that I'm associated with hurts and kills them in the future? I'm protecting someone else's from losing a loved one. So if it means going to jail for a minute, then I mean go.
Right, you act like you getting a bid. Like it's a bid attached to this. This ain't no bid.
Get the right attorney. It ain't no bid, period.
Sometimes you gotta be the sacrifice. If it's gonna save multiple lives. Because that's the trickle down effect. You know what? When that kid grow up, you're like, damn, I was drawn. Let me chill out. Sometimes you can get through. People get through certain ways, and when the parents can't, it be the ones that they see and respect. Like, damn, Nell a cool dude. He do his thing. He's still young. He's still vibrant. But he's still mature. Let me listen to him because evidently he got something going on. He came about the slums. He doing this thing. They doing their thing. They got shit going on. They came from where I came from. Let me listen to these dudes. Sometimes it could be that.
Be a mentor.
Think a cop really locking you up if you say I whooped his ass because he was out here drawing? They gonna be like, Mr. Gathers, thank you. The way crime is real and the way people is just shutting their doors to stuff what's going on out here. These cops want us to be on patrol and help. You think a judge is going to sentence me to any time, community service or probation because I beat a child's ass because they was out there doing something crazy? No.
I don't know about the law today.
Well, I guess they like that in Thompson.
That's why I said I can't do this.
They're like that in this country, unfortunately.
Not in my city, man. Not in my city.
So it's not against the law to
No.
hit your kids.
No.
So y'all.
It's to the extent, yeah. You're not beating them to the point where
the law to abuse their kids,
the
but not
police
to
commissioner,
discipline.
the mayor, the governor is literally asking people for help.
Right.
Yeah, for help. Right.
Well, they shouldn't have took that right away from people in the first place.
I'm saying they never took that right away from us. I don't know.
Well, yes, they did.
I never heard of that.
You never heard of that, T?
I never heard of that. No.
You never heard.
She talking about them implementing the child abuse laws in place for parents who actually abuse their children.
Saying. Child abuse
to
is
a certain extent.
Child abuse is different than discipline.
I agree, but like I said,
that's why I said yes. I've never heard of that.
Kids know their rights.
I've never heard of that.
They would threaten you with calling the law now.
I've never heard of that, and I wish I would have said some shit like that to my mom.
Like
I wouldn't even be here.
I'll have to send that article to y'all.
I'll call DHS. Yeah, they've said that.
Went to jail for that.
Yeah.
For disciplining her teenager.
Mm-hmm. That's what I say. Call them. I'll dial for you.
If your balls is bigger.
Hold on, Nell. Yeah, no, let's stay right there. AKD. One time when my son was 15 or 16, right? He called himself being a little badass or whatever, right? I was sleeping, and then I caught him outside at like 2-3 in the morning, right? So it's normally a cop like sitting outside my crib. So when he walked up to the door to come in, I smacked the shit out of him right in front of the cop. Because that's my son. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know this law or whatever shit y'all talking about. His last name is Taylor, and I will fuck either one of them up at any given time.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that, but they did pass that law.
I've never heard of this.
It's so crazy, KD. I will tell y'all a story where I got arrested in Southwest Philly.
Oh shit.
For talking to another child about punching my godson in the stomach.
Oh, my head hurts.
By me saying something to that child, caused that child to go to his parents. His parents then came to our door where I was at.
Oh, me.
And then it became a situation. That don't mean I got arrested, because once the cops got there and we tried to explain the situation, then the kid punched my godson in the stomach and he assaulted him first. And this should be between parents and people and neighbors. The problem is that some parents don't want to accept the fact that their children are just out of fucking control.
Right.
And so therefore the individuals that try to step in or whatever the case may be are then in this combat with the parents, and that's probably where they're getting arrested more or less than chastising or disciplining the children.
Even still, in that situation, did you get a bid or something?
No, I didn't. No, absolutely
you was
not.
right,
I got arrested.
You was all right.
8 hours in jail. I got the fuck out. I will do it again. I beat the case.
So
and I beat the case, and I got my record expunged.
That's what I'm saying. Period. So if it comes down to you getting arrested for doing what you had to do,
so
you got to do what you got to do.
And I will do it again. Because your badass kid ain't going to hit my godson. We going to have some problems. Keep your hands to yourself.
Thanks.
And then, but this is how it starts, and this is how it began. We got to be willing to step up and kind of step up and step in.
Fuck these kids.
All right, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful back and forth. We appreciate it. Top fans, memberships are available. If you thought this dialogue right here was amazing, you're missing out on exclusive membership content, because we got these type of things all the time. We've been working behind the scenes to provide y'all with a lot more clips, a lot more content, and you will be seeing that. So again, shout outs to Rhonda for trying to become a membership recipient.
Hold on, no, let's stay right there, because I need to let people know that if you get a membership and then your membership is canceled for whatever reason, you change your card or whatever, it is difficult to reverse that.
Yeah.
So once you get a membership, I would suggest you kind of keep up with that, or you might have to create a whole new account if you want to become a member again. Because
Yeah,
once you
I
get
literally
locked
was
out of it,
trying.
yeah,
Yeah, I
once
was
you
trying
get
to
locked
help
out of
Rhonda
it,
yesterday for a
yeah,
good while. It's unfortunate. I was Googling and YouTubing and trying to figure it out and all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's difficult when your card, doesn't go through. It's not attached. It's one of those different
right,
type of cards that YouTube doesn't authorize or something. It just becomes difficult and you can't do
right,
it from your phone. You got to do it from a desktop. It's just
right.
so difficult. So I was definitely trying to help Rhonda. And I still said I was going to try to see how we can get her back on track.
Absolutely. But don't get discouraged. Don't let that discourage you. If you don't have a membership, go out there and get you a membership. The exclusive memberships are filled with a lot of goodies, a lot of get for your buck. So go out there. If you're not a top fan already, get your membership and you will have a great experience, because we got a lot of stuff coming up.
That is a good segue, no, because I do want to tell the people, as y'all can see tonight, my name has changed on the screen because there will be new content coming to the top members from the Prophet versus the Shit Starter. That will be a look into certain stories or certain situations that I've been a part of or that I've seen, that breaks down the point of, I think there's three sides to see everything. So there's going to be my perspective, there's going to be yours perspective, and there should be a compromise. But even if there's not a compromise, we have to be able to agree to disagree, which sometimes is unfortunate and could be a deal breaker, but that's just a part of the nature of communication. So that segment will be available in the exclusive membership part of the channel. What's up? Where's Aisha at? Did she get lost?
Yeah, I think she's trying to find her membership. She's trying to find her
She trying to find her membership.
Oh,
Ish, you try to find your membership? Because I want to get into this next topic because Ish, are you there? All right. As
I'm
we get
here.
into this next topic, I want to call an audible on my castmates, and I hope that y'all can follow along. Because after Thursday night's meeting, I was kind of, frustrated in my own brain of thoughts, and I didn't want this whole episode to be mom bashing or however that looks, or even women bashing. But I'm going to play a video, and then I'm going to explain my thoughts on it, and then I want y'all thoughts on it. But the video is like 2 minutes long. I'll play the video and then I'll discuss what's going on here. But here's the video, people.
So I'll kind of like skim from the beginning and then just kind of cut it real short. So in 2020, I joined this church. And in coming to this church, I kind of had expectations of being a part of an imperfect church, which was okay for me. I was fine with that. I was okay with knowing that, we all have flaws from the head down. And I loved everything about that. A lot of times in this past maybe 2 weeks where I've kind of just allowed things to flow through whether I'm writing something or just talking about it, I realized I'm really hurt, right? And we can keep masking it and saying that we're okay, we're in our healing process. But unless we open up about it and we're honest about it and not just covering it up with I'm okay, I'll be all right, it makes it harder for you to heal the proper way. So I joined this church, and most of you know no, it's not okay, I don't want to cry. I went hard for this church. I didn't plan on crying, actually. I stood behind this church. I stood behind this pastor, and I don't have to say any names, you guys already know. because I rep this church the way I did. Every time the doors were open, I was there. When the doors weren't open and it was just rehearsal or a meeting, I was there. I served. I really was not supposed to cry. I served in my fullest capacity. I was made to serve even when I didn't want to. There were times where I would get up and not want to do it because I just didn't want to, because of the things I knew, because of the things I was going through behind the scenes that nobody knew about. And this week, I think it hurt a little bit more because this is the week of love, right? Yesterday was the day of love, and last year I was in a place where I loved through all of it. I loved through all the hurt. I loved through all the bullshit. I loved through all of the people talking behind my back, all of that, right? So I'm gonna get to the point. So my world, right, kind of like came crushing down in June. Honestly, before that, and the beginning of last year, so I'll start there. The beginning of last year, I kind of was over it. I didn't want to be at the church no more. I just felt like I was used. And that came from somebody that said, I won't abuse you the way that they did. I won't use your gift the way that they did. I won't misuse you. I won't mishandle you. And then you do it. So I got tired. I got really tired, and I wanted to leave. And I wanted to sit down, and I wanted to stop singing, and I wanted to stop serving, but I couldn't. Because I was the only one, so I felt obligated to stay because I was the only praise and worship leader that was still there.
Just about this clip, you know.
Why the hell am I crying?
I know, me too now. I had a little dribble on the sides too.
Hold on now. This is why I always, try to get across to y'all that, we have to start digging deeper, with our topics and, having honest conversations about, things that's going on with you personally, with things about people I know this girl personally. So around the time when I was finishing up my book or whatever, this church is right around the corner from me. So this girl was like, you should come to my church. And I was in a grieving point. And sometimes you don't actually know how to grieve because every grievance is different. Every person you grieve for is different. So I went to the church because I'm always down for a good sermon. But while I was at this church, I was like, something ain't right. So that was my first and last time going to this church. So she was actually a singer at this church. So a lot of times when people, not just women, whether they're abused, molested, abandoned, brokenhearted, whatever it may be that they search throughout, and church can also be a detriment, because a lot of times certain churches are like a gossip party where they're basically like down talking on you, and people don't realize that you can be a servant of God. You don't have to go to church to do that. You can just be your own person and serve God. So my question to y'all is, what are y'all thoughts about, the things that goes on in church, in the lost souls who, I feel like certain things you have to look within. Like, people can help you along your journey, but if it doesn't come within and you're codependent on however that looks, whether it be the church or whether it be a parent, whether it be whoever it may be, if that person disappoints you or violates you in a certain way, then your whole world will be turned upside down again. So you have to look within and build your own strength and your own confidence, and not allow, these outside things to be able to tear you down completely. So what are y'all thoughts on the video and things that's going on of that nature?
Well, I'll begin with this. I used to go to church every Sunday. I was in on missionary board, president of this board, that board, and it got to the point to where I was not feeling fulfilled when I would go to church. It's like I felt even worse. Finally, I realized I got a closer relationship with God when I serviced and worshiped with just me. I worship in my own way, whether that be me. See, people think you have to go into a building, but the worship temple is your heart. Whether I worship with music, videos, prayer, words, or whatever, I take it in the way I want to take it in. I control what go in. And I mean, I got turned off when this preacher told me he wanted to suck my toe. I was through then. I stopped following the word of man, and I had to learn how to allow myself to find my own word. I just
Angelia, the whole video is like a hour long, and I'll put it in the description of this video after this for those who want to see the whole video as she goes in depth in everything that occurred in that situation. But go ahead, Ish. What are your thoughts?
Woof. Let me just say that. Woof. Because if we can be really transparent here, there was a point in time in my life at about 26, right as I was just getting married to my husband at the time. My aunt was or is still a pastor of an AME church. I will refrain from saying the name. And right before I was getting ready to get married, I actually ran to the church. I felt that I needed some additional fulfillment. I felt that me and my future husband needed prayer, that we needed counseling, that we needed to prepare for marriage, etc. I became very enthralled in the church. I became the church secretary. I was on the choir, and having gone to Philadelphia and being taught by one of the best in the city of Philadelphia, Joan Myers Brown. I actually started the dance ministry at the church. And unfortunately, because my husband at the time was not the ideal husband, we were sold. It was crazy. Like the pastors wouldn't minister to us, they wouldn't counsel us, they wouldn't marry us. And because of that, I was told that I couldn't run the ministry board. Literally, it was appalling to me, this place that I ran to, honestly seeking some healing, seeking to be a good wife, seeking to, get closer to God and find a relationship with God, and not knowing how to do that. So I ran to the church in hopes of learning how to do that. And instead, I learned a tough lesson. I learned a lesson of, everything, some people are just playing church.
Right.
Some people are playing church. And that's when, after this, I found, my own sanctity with God, as far as, having that personal relationship, because knowing that under, a roof, which was supposed to be his house, was not necessarily his house. And, sometimes people seek something from somewhere, and not all the time is that the best place to seek from. So I can totally relate to her, and what she was saying.
No.
We have so many false prophets walking around amongst us. It gives, as the term that is popularized out here, it's giving the devil amongst us. We have so many people who fake minister to us, even fake fellowship with us. They'll act like they're holier than thou. They know every Bible verse. They'll quote for them to quote, but then be living guilty in sin.
Mm.
And again, as we coined the phrase, make it make sense. In Nell's voice, make it make sense. So when it comes to situations like that, I always do my due diligence in finding on my own relationship with God, so I don't have to fall victim of this fake ministry. I can always revert back to the place that I know I find solace, and it's my conversations directly with Him, and then also the teachings that have been bestowed upon me, and helping me find different ways to gather the information that I'm looking for. It's not the church per se. It's those that attend these churches or attend these meetings or these revivals and come out wanting to spread this knowledge that they think they've gathered or they think they learned and spread it all over the place, especially on you, holding you accountable with verses that come from the Bible, but then sending their own way.
Right.
That's where my problem lies. I don't have a problem with the pastors because I don't trust them. Because I don't view them as anything more but just a human being like I.
Right.
My problem comes in when you have these people who will castrate you, talk about you,
Right.
harm you, physically betray you, mentally and also spiritually,
Right.
and then turn around and do the same and do the same things that they're trying to castrate you for. Lets me know there's no parity in it. So the only person that I can blame for myself getting into something like that is myself, right? Because we all have a due diligence to ourselves to gather the information that's being put in front of us, and hopefully, we're able to decipher what's right and what's wrong. My problem comes with the people. It doesn't come from the building. It doesn't even come from the message that's being spoken. It comes from the people that are hearing it and then putting it into their own words. And we have them amongst us now who think that they can say what they want to say to people. And then the moment you step outside of yourself, here comes a scripture. Now, here comes nah. So that's why I move a little differently when it comes to religion and those type of sort of conversations, because I know where I find my solace at. I know where I find my the holiness within.
So I just want to say, as I was searching through my frustrations of trying to wrap this whole episode into a nice bow, I was going through my social media because I'm about to take a social media break, a social media detox. So I was going through my social media just to make sure, I checked all my messages, because some of you people only know how to network on social media. So I was going through my messages to make sure, everything was straight before I get off of there for like a week or so. And I came across that video that fell right into place. And I want to say this to you, Nell, because this is also another lesson that I learned this week, that us as men, we have to take the lead in a righteous way. It's just never going to be a equal playing field. It's never going to be where, we can stand side by side and the woman leads you and you lead her, because their emotions get so wrapped up in so many things that we have to take charge and lead them. And hopefully they will stand by our side and, reciprocate the leadings.
Wow, that's a pretty heavy statement there.
Right.
And yes, we do have to leave our example, regardless of how imperfect our ways are. We have the due diligence to do that. We were not, and not to put ourselves in front of anybody, because please, what I'm about to is not trying to say I am better than anyone or male. Is we were put here in the lead, and
Right.
from our rib were women created to be our equal, and we've lost that sense of equalness
Right.
in dog eat dog world, or I gotta show you that I'm better than this, and when we should be kind of in harmony. Our
Right.
steps should be harmonious, not competitive. Our love should be together instead of one trying to prove to the other that I love you more.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's what we've gotten away from. We've gotten away from, and we need to find that balance.
Right.
Not even the balance of how do I balance this and that, the balance of equality. Because at the end of the day, we're equal. We've come from each other. We were made to cohabitate this earth together.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Diana, this is not about a bad preacher or bad people in the church. This is about you not being able to stand in your own 2 feet of that being your end all to be all. Like you have to be able to focus and figure things out without other things or other people and places being able to shatter your whole world is the message that I'm trying to get through.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about it. Please, it's not about particular preachers or the
Mhm.
message.
Mhm.
The messengers who deliver it. And how are you putting yourself in the best possible positions to understand what you're seeing?
Right.
Mhm.
Um, Again, as we speak weekly, we always, the four of us, when we come together on Thursdays, we exhale, right? That's our exhale moment. That's our moment to vent. That's our moment to gather information. That's our moment to then come together as a group. And we have those exhaling moments where we vent, but we also understand what our purpose is.
Facts.
We all have a purpose and a calling for something, right? And we have the sheer authority to, one, understand ourselves before we can project our opinions on anybody, because we are leading a flock, right? Regardless of however we want to say it. So we have to make sure that the message that we are conveying resonates from within.
Right.
Opinion is an opinion that resonates. I experience not from anybody else's, but my personal experience of my 42 years on this earth, how and when I was made and created, how I was brought up, but also what direction I want to go into the future, right? And that's what we have to understand. That's the part that we have to when we understand that, we understand not everybody is going to always understand exactly what you want them to understand. You're
Right.
going to have people that say, I got it now. And you're going to say, no, that's some bullshit. And you have to be able to live in that moment, not become upset or overly joyed because you got somebody to agree or disagree with what you're trying to say.
No, I also want to say that not everybody's meant to be a leader.
Mhm.
And if you are a follower, be honest with yourself about that. Be honest with your position, be honest to your people and persons so y'all can figure that out. Y'all can figure out how that looks and put that together. Ladies, do y'all have any thoughts?
My last parting words is just simply, I saw some of the comments. Some of them say, listen and hear God's voice for yourself. If that's your source, And I'm not trying to say it is your source, because some people say it's not. It's my source. First and foremost, it's my source. But you can hear that voice. You don't need a preacher to tell you about God's voice. So seek and find your peace. When you find your peace inside, you'll find that little voice.
Say something, right? Ish. I want this to be known to the public. This is not about God. This
Right.
is believe
Right.
God. This is not take on if your church is great or grand or lack thereof. This is about mental telepathy. All about the processing of information. How well do you process? How well are you listening? How well are you consuming? And how well are you doing your due diligence to find the answers that you seek? It has
Right.
nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with the church. It has nothing to do with any of that. This was an example that was shown to show you that everything can't be trusted because it looks good or is good or is
Right.
presented to be good for you. So let's not get upset in the comments. Let's not take it too far. Let's not over it. What we're saying is, how are you doing? How are you discerning information that's being provided to you in order to consume it, which way is best for you, and doing the things that you needed to do to make you a better person. That's it. It has nothing else to do with anything else. But then you have to look outside of yourself and say, if I'm sitting up here being holier than thou 95 times out of the day, that other 5%, am I false profiting? Am I leading? Am I being false to the very things that I'm spewing out there? Am I engaging in these unnecessary conversations that mean nothing to no one?
Right.
The comment section be crazy sometimes. Not hearing Uncensored Minds, but the topics that we may put out there, the back and forth, the back and forth comment, it be so disingenuous, and then it's looking like it's meant to break us when it's only we're looking for ways to come together and grow.
Right.
But it's so far because we so hooked up on who's going to be able to uncover who's what business. If I ask this question, then maybe somebody will say something and slip up. We're looking for hot topics instead of looking for ways to bring each other together and enrich and grow this community and this family that we call Uncensored Minds, Friday Night Lights, Karen on the Move, Telemade Kicks, Telemade Entertainment, Raw Honey. Everything is meant to look to be a hot topic or a hot take or to run with the narrative. The narrative is bullshit. And when you partake in those things, you know what you're doing? You're allowing the devil to creep in and destroy every good thing that God has given us.
No, how about not giving anybody the control of you not knowing who you are?
People say that though. People will say, I will not give nobody control and be adamant about it. But they will be puppeteers.
Right.
When people pull the string, people ask a question, and here go the puppets. Puppeteers making you dance for a show only for their entertainment, not knowing they're controlling you. Stop.
Right.
Stop. Because that ain't nothing but Satan rearing his ugly head, making you do something that's not really you. So when we talk about these topics, when we talk about these things, this conversation that's going to help us grow, enriching our souls, bring peace and quality and equality to ourselves. We talked about this on Thursday, right? It was a topic that I brought forth to the three of us that went like this, right? If the world was perfect, what would that look like for you in your current state? I asked that question because not if the world was perfect, what would it look like for you overall, but in your current state, meaning everything that has happened to you has happened to you already. How are you? What would the world look like for you right now with all the chips on the table and how your life has played out. And my topic was togetherness. I just want togetherness. That's what the world would look like perfectly if we all came together and we just rocked out and figured it out and made it work.
Yeah, that's one of those topics. That's one of those topics that has so many layers to it.
I told you I'm not playing with y'all.
I needed that. I needed that slow segment right there. My head is literally killing me. My head is killing me. Whooping my ass. It's been whooping my ass for the past 4 or 5 days. But that right there I had a coming to Nell right there. You know why? It made me go to a place of peace. That's my peace. My peace. That's my peace. Explaining to the world what my purpose is on earth is my peace. I don't come to try to defraud nobody or play no games. I come with love. When you come pure and with good intentions, you feel good about that. That brief little second I was speaking, however long I spoke, my head felt the best it's felt in 5 days. You know why? Because it's pure and it's real.
All right, Katie, it's on you.
All right, well, that was filling, but again, let's not get caught up in too much in one side of that. The gist of it is, I guess, when you see someone who's crying out for help, if you know them, try to be helpful in any way that you can.
That wasn't the gist of it, but go ahead, Katie.
Well, I'm staying away from the gist of it.
You're derailing. You're derailing, but go ahead.
All right, prophet / shit starter. But anyway, tonight, my guest, he had a dream of being an NFL football player. His dream was right there. Lo and behold, he got caught up with the wrong crowd, and his dream came to a halt. Not just by anybody, but his own family. But he did not allow that to stop him. This young man went on to become a model. He's working on becoming an actor. And he also has his own clothing brand. I brought you tonight Kent Shelby II because I was introduced to him by one of our own tech. And I was really impressed with this young man because he did not allow any of the adversities to stop him from continuing on with his life. Kent, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thank y'all so much for having me, getting to explain my story. And like I said, thank you again for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you for accepting it. And taking my million questions that I was asking you. So, Kent, tell us a little bit first about your situation. You were with a foster family or a step family?
No, so it was my mom. She married, a guy who had 6 children. They end up having 7 because, they made one. And I met him when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I was adjusting from, being by myself, just having my mother to myself, to her being with a man. And, having all of that baggage with him, it started off a little rough, but we grew into each other. It was a cool experience. It was fun to have brothers, sisters, or whatever until, like I said, I made it to the big leagues and shit changed.
Oh, wow. You have to tell us about that. I mean, you got your hopes up. You see your big dreams right there, and boom, it's gone.
Yeah,
Tell
just
us
like
about
that. Now,
What
remember,
happened with
it
that?
was, but when you mentioned foster home, so my mom was actually a social, she was a social worker. So I used to get threatened a lot when I didn't do good in school that she was going to send me to a boys' home. So that's funny that you said that. But we'll go to the question you just asked me. So basically, I was an undrafted free agent with the Los Angeles Chargers. They called me like 5 minutes right after the NFL draft. So the NFL draft, after the 7 rounds is over with, there's a undrafted free agent process. And like 5 minutes after that was, the actual 7 rounds was over with, I got a call. And so, I got the call, my whole world was like, oh, it was a relief. Like, yes, I made it. They sent the plane ticket. I was getting my passport and everything situated. And then next thing you know, I want to say on that Monday, this was a Saturday that I received a call. On a Monday, I got like a fake phone call from some type of jail saying like I got a warrant out for my arrest. And I'm like, how I got a warrant out for my arrest? And I just was on a plane, not too long ago. So that was kind of weird because I had 2 weeks to report to training camp. Every team does it differently. Some teams after the draft, they may want you to come in the next day, 2 days later. But with us, I had 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And so that's when shit was like weird within those 2 weeks. I kept getting these weird phone calls from a fake jail. It wasn't real though. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So come to find out, my mother's husband, that she's still with today, is his ex-wife. She was NOPD. She used to work for the NOPD. Like I said, I'm from New Orleans, so that's the New Orleans Police Department. Some way, somehow, she got her contacts or whatever to put a case on me. And the reason why I know I had a case on me was because the Los Angeles Chargers. So they was calling the charges, saying like, Kent got a charge on me. I didn't know it was that easy to call the NFL team and just be like, this and this and that. Like, I didn't know that shit was even real. So, because that's how they end up. So this is how all of it happened. So they was calling the team. I don't know who specifically called them, but they called the team saying I had a warrant out for my arrest. Warrant out. They kept calling. The team was like, that's bullshit. We looked into it. So finally, they eventually did look into it within those 2 weeks of me reporting to rookie minicamp. They called the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints checked in and was like, okay, he does have a case with his name on it. But if you research the case, there was nothing in the case. So I spent a whole year trying to get my name expunged or whatever from something that was never even in existence.
Wow. So that was a derailment for you.
Yeah, it definitely was, and I was very optimistic when, people was like, family would be the first people to, fuck over you. And I was like, nah, not my family. We've been through too much. Like I said, this is not my real family anyway. I had to adjust to this type of family because through marriage. So I'm thinking, nah, we've been through a lot together. This ain't gonna happen. And then boom, it literally happened.
Wow. Well, you didn't let that stop you from moving on in other avenues, other directions.
No, ma'am.
So when after that happened, is that when you got into modeling?
No, so I got into modeling last year, which was 2022. No, after that situation, I kind of had to start figuring my life out. Like, what else am I good at? What else do I want to do? Because I just been playing football my whole life. This was 2018. Right. A arena football team called me, out of the blue. Don't know how I got it. Wasn't even questioning it. I had to do my research when they called me. I was like, man, I'm not really too sure because I'm used to being on the field. Arena is an indoor setting. It's like basketball court, but they got like some turf rolled over it. So it's not really a safe environment. So I had to do my little research or whatever. I did it. And I said, when I do it, I'm going to just go out there, not even think about nothing. Just kind of just be like, you know what? God's sending me out here for some type of reason. I ain't going to worry about even coming back home. And I did that. 2019 was a great year for me to shake back off of what happened with that bullshit in 2018. And like I said, I had to wait a whole year anyway because the DA was like, we're going to look into it for a whole year. If we don't find nothing, then, everything will get expunged, which it did. So I spent the whole year playing football. I actually won a championship that year. I scored the game-winning touchdown, and that led me to the Canadian Football League, which was at the time the brother league to the NFL. But 2019, the next year was the COVID year. So by me not getting that opportunity with the Chargers in 2018, that derailed me for the opportunity in 2021 because 2020 they canceled the season.
Ah,
So
okay.
2021 was like that's when they called me and was like, we got to release you. You know, it's nothing you've done. It's just more the politics side of it. And
Right.
so I'm like, well, damn, what do I do now? So I tried the arena route again for another team, new environment. It just wasn't the same. So I kind of left, you know, within 3 games. And that's when I moved to Atlanta in 2021. And the first thing that I did when I moved to Atlanta was I joined the acting class.
Smart man.
But only because of teammates. Teammates was like, you got the personality, you should try this shit out. So once I hear one little thing in my mind, I just go straight with it. I don't even think about it. I just go with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So how has that been working out for you since you decided
now
to take
it's a
acting
lot
classes?
better. When I first started, I didn't take it too seriously because I still had that football dream in me. You know, I wanted to make it. I'm like, how can you get an opportunity? You that close and you can't even seal a deal because of off of some bullshit happening like that.
Right.
You know, like I said, there's nothing that was in the case, literally. Nothing. You know, I did my interviews with everybody. There was nothing in the case, so I was fighting for something that was just slowly not meant for me. So I spent 2021 and 2022 still trying to try the football shit out. So now this 23's here, I'm like, I let it go. Now I do it recreationally. I don't do it to try to make it anymore. So,
right.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, I'm glad that you came on, but let me suggest this. Since you have taken an interest in acting, you know, they are constantly looking for roles on certain TV shows or whatever for football players. You would be a shoe-in for that, you know. So just start looking in for that. With you being a model, yes, ladies, he is a model.
I am. You can do your research, yeah.
Exactly. So you can follow him on IG. With you being a model, wide receiver, I mean, I see you going places. I really do see you going places.
I really appreciate that. I really do.
And I commend you for not allowing what happened to just stop you and paralyze you to just that one area.
Yes,
you decided to move on, and I see big things for you. And I thank Tech for getting you in with us. Now, I know you have your own clothing line, but here at Uncensored Mind, we do have our merch available as well. And also, you do sports. So I'm taking it that you like kicks, that you like sneaks and all of that.
Definitely.
Well, the guys here, they have a show every Wednesday night. It's called Tailor Made Kits. You should check that show out. They have all of the latest kits, all of the new ones that are coming out, or all kind of tips. So you should check them out on Wednesday nights on this same station at 8 o'clock. And I want to ask my co-host if y'all can come in. This is Nell.
What's up, Nell? What's up?
Problems. I got a question for you. Question and also a comment. One thing I do see that has, regardless from when you started the conversation with telling us your background to the situation that got you hemmed up in the situation that you had no business belonging in. That's how it radiates. And that's when you know when you're true to yourself. We talked about this a little earlier, just being in tune and true to yourself. You know what I mean? No matter what comes your way, you're still able to have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Knowing the real you and what you got going on and what you're doing. And I just wanted to appreciate that because that smile has not left your face, regardless of
appreciate that.
happened to you that took away a lot of the accomplishments that you had. And then also what you're looking forward to, that stayed the same, as bright and radiant. So I wanted to commend you on that and give you an opportunity to lay your hat down home. This is a home for you now. Every guest that comes on here, you know what I mean, we treat them as family, and as such, you are that. Going forward in the acting game, what are some things that you're looking to do to propel yourself to even chase your dreams?
So me and my buddy, named Bullhead, we do a lot of skits because I've talking to a lot of people while I was on sets, and I tell them different things about this. They like, go ahead on, and they say, learn a monologue, learn a script, and you act it out on social media to get your practice. Like I said, I do take acting classes. I'm willing to do background work. I'm willing to do some stand-in work. I'm willing to do whatever I can. I treat the shit like football. Like, if I'm not on the field as a starter, I got to get in on special teams somehow. You might not want to play special teams, but that might be your only way, to get on the field. So whatever I got to do to get on the field, I ain't going to do anything now, but you get what I'm saying.
And I'm sure you're a product of your environment coming from New Orleans. I'm sure you're old enough to understand what happened with Katrina. You probably was a young boy at the time, but just going through that experience, living down there in New Orleans, and then going through what you're going through, it just made for a great story for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in a couple of years, when we see you on the big screen, headlining a movie or whatever the case may be, or even catching the football in the NFL, you'll be able to speak this story, which will resonate with somebody else, which will help them get through the challenges and pitfalls that is life.
I appreciate. It's funny because you said a smile never left my face. Literally not too long ago, I had just got pulled over, and the cop was like, just because you so nice and smiling and shit, like, I ain't gonna write you a ticket.
Sure.
I had like 3 violations. I ain't know though. It wasn't my, so like, it's probably off topic, but like, it's just funny because you were saying about, how being a nice person or just being a good person could really help you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, my back light on my left side of my car, somebody hit me, I couldn't get that fixed right now, so that's whatever. But the headlight on my left side is out, and then they say my windows was too dark. So like I had 3 different violations. So I'm in my head like, I'm not really tripping because I'm like, man, look, life what it is. And I be looking at the signs. I already had a sign was like, I'm gonna get pulled over some way, somehow. I don't know when, but I'm gonna get pulled over. But whenever that sign do come, I'm gonna make something happen. So I got pulled over. The cop did what he had to do. And like I said, the black cop was talking to me and was like, yeah, man, the type of mindset you got, that's gonna take you a long way. And the white cop was like, I ain't gonna write you up because, you was a good person or whatever. So I took that sign and was like, okay, boom, I gotta get me another car anyway. So like that's happening regardless, like tomorrow. But it's just funny you said that.
I know from the police. I don't police friend.
But look though, I'm good people though. Like I don't really be afraid of shit because it's like when I speak about that football shit, like that shit really put me in a dark place where I really had to find myself. Because when you're a football player, that's all the fuck you know. As a wide receiver, all I know my whole life was to run routes, catch balls, score touchdowns, and have fun doing that. Once I lost that, I had to really like be a human being and figure out what do I like, what type of emotions make me feel a certain way. Like I had to really dig deep. And I enjoyed this journey because I'm not afraid to speak on it because I didn't do anything wrong. It's just people that just really was out to get me. And I'm not mad at them. I honestly, I forgave them. It ain't like a forgiving where it's like I still talk to them to this day, but it's more of a forgiving like y'all stay the fuck over there and I'm over here. But I forgive y'all because what that done for me as a human being, it made me become a positive person. It made me become someone that's standing on business. Like you said, I have a clothing brand. It's called Standing in Their Chest. Standing in their chest is basically standing up for whatever the fuck you believe in, regardless of what somebody telling you what you can or what you can't do. I don't give a fuck what you say. If I feel like I'm gonna do that shit, I'm gonna do it. And if you in my way, that's why I say standing in their chest.
And that's exactly what I was getting ready to ask too. But that's what I was getting ready to ask too. I was getting ready to say, thanks for, coming on and sharing and being transparent with us and all of that. And I was just getting ready to say, so tap into the clothing line and explain to us a little bit. And you just shared that.
Yeah.
And I was, another part of the question was going to be, with all of the clothing lines that we have and all of the brands that we have, coming into the game, the ones that are solidified and standing strong, like what are you going to do to set apart your brand from every other brand? And it seems like you have like a significant statement to be made with your brand. So could you repeat it again, just in case somebody didn't catch it, and explain to us and explain to the people, you know, how you want to make an impact with your clothing line?
So basically, my clothing line came about from a friend, where it's called. So basically, it's two of them. It's called Standing in a Chest and Failure is Not an Option. The failure is not an option was a gift from a, still to this day, a friend that I have as a birthday gift. And I wore it during a motivational video. This was at the time where I'm trying to figure out myself outside of football. So I was like, maybe I'm gonna try to speak some positive words on Instagram. And I had a video with a shirt on, and people was like, man, you got some more of these shirts? I'll buy it or whatever. So I hit up my people who actually got the shirt done to make it. But to answer your question, what makes my brand stand out from other people is that I don't really give a damn about the money. Like, none of this shit. I mean, obviously money matters, but the impact on it is what matters the most. And what is that? Is the statement behind it. Like I said, standing in their chest for nails is not an option. You go on my Instagram, before I end every video, I always say, keep standing in their chest, because failure is not an option. Yes, Lord, we shall receive. Who is we shall receive? We shall receive that good energy that I just gave to you. That's what you receive.
I just want to say that I always employ to these ladies, because they don't understand that sports gives you the discipline and the boundaries to be able to be competitive and be able to control your own narrative.
Correct.
And it gives you like a basis to stand on in anything in life, like as far as how you move.
Yeah.
So they don't understand how sports gives you that discipline. And you know, it helps you in life. They just think we playing a game.
Yeah.
So can you speak on the discipline that you learn that is more than just a game? It's a mindset.
So basically, I will speak on my end of the stick was, I was like always the best player on my team. And when you look at the best player on the team, you probably look at him as like this dick of a person. Oh, he just, you know what I'm saying? He Mr. Too good for himself on the field, but off the field, he a bad person. I've never shown that one bit. I was always a leader on the team. I always held myself accountable, and I always stood on business, because I felt like if I'm a wide receiver, first of all, so it's like I gotta be a playmaker on the team. If I don't get open, if I don't catch the ball, if I don't score touchdowns, we don't have a possible chance of winning the game. So that falls on me. So how do I put that in my life is that if people count on me, I gotta be there. No matter if I'm having a bad day, if I have a bad start to the game, there's always a play that can make a difference in the game. And I treat that in my life. No matter how my day is, no matter how somebody trying to do me or whatever, there's always one thing that can happen in that day that could possibly change the outcome of that day or that game.
So ladies, what he's basically saying is, if you never played sports or understand sports, you're missing valuable lessons. I'm just saying, you're missing valuable lessons.
That's what you got out of that too.
For real. I mean, you got to get up early in the morning.
Right.
You got to get up about 5 o'clock in the morning to do all this running around. Then you got to go to study hall to go study. You got to go to class. Then after all of that, you got to come back for workouts late in the day. It's just a lot of shit you got to keep doing. But it's like, if you put yourself through that, it helps you become who you. Yeah.
There's a lot of character. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
One of
the
things I take from that message is being overly emotional doesn't produce results. Because we want to live in our emotions, that's not always a real place, because reality sets in and wakes you up from that emotional state that you're in, and this still needs to you still stand on business, and not let emotions control you, because then you achieve nothing.
You're right.
And would have allowed his emotions to get the best of him, he's not sitting here with us today smiling, sharing a story, being an inspiration, also continue to rewriting chapters that stacked up against him by falsehood. So That's when we always talk about not letting emotions control your everyday thinking or how you perceive things.
Right.
Appreciate
Right.
that. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
for sure.
So can you
Well,
give the people the Instagram for the clothing line, and if you have a separate personal Instagram, whatever, either one, just let people know how they can get in contact with you.
You just go to my page, Kent Shelby the second. Once you type that in, it will say Big Shelby with a money bag sign, and in my bio, it's all right there in my bio.
Okay.
Yo,
Like I said, I ain't really too much tripping over the people buying the shit. It's really just the messages. That's really
but
how
I went to it though. It's pretty nice, Kent. I was
I
trying to pull it up
appreciate it.
again.
I do what I can. I got a business partner, but you know how life happens. Shit, I'm doing more of the work than he is right now, but I ain't mad at nobody. It's life. Shit happens.
You get that backlight fixed yet?
What you said?
Did you get that backlight fixed yet?
That backlight? No, this was all today. This was just like a few minutes ago before I got on the podcast.
We're going grab a couple shirts so you can go towards that fun and get that back. Don't leave no more stops, bro. Well, stops, my G.
Hey, that's funny. I appreciate you. Look, but I'm already on it. Look, I saw that sign. I'm sitting at the car. I'm sitting on the curve and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's my sign. Let me go take care of that.
Yeah, you know, ain't the best out there.
Sure.
Ain't the most forgiving. You got two real ones out there.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Now, for real, I really want to say thank y'all for giving me a platform to speak, because, this type of shit I came to Atlanta for. I did come out here for football, but I'm open to, a whole bunch of shit. Like, I got a story. I'm here to help people. I've been through a lot. I'm sure other people been through a lot, but we ain't alone in this shit. Somebody went through what we went through and was successful at it. So that's the type of people I'm trying to be around. The doers, not the talkers. People talk a good game, but they ain't standing on business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, we wanna thank you for coming on. And Katie, do you have any last words or questions?
I just posted his IG link up, and so everyone go over, give him a follow. I'm sure he will follow you back.
Yep.
I would like to remind everybody, and Kent, you as well, please like the video.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
only seeing 5 likes. Please like us. Please put up the emojis. That will help us grow. Kent, please share us with your friends.
Yes,
Ask
ma'am.
them to join us. And again, Wednesday nights, you have tailor-made kits. Thursday nights, you have Game 7 with this man up above you.
Okay.
So just come to this platform and you will see all kind of entertainment. And as Nell said, welcome to the family. You are now a part of the Uncensored Mind family.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
27.
Reason why I ask, because I know we are harsh on this generation that's preceded this one here.
Mm-hmm.
Individuals like you who we can definitely hang our hats on and say, you know what? There's a glimmer of hope that they get it.
Mm-hmm.
Might not get it in their 19s, but when they start to hit the 20s and the mid 20s and early 30s, that the light switch goes on, lets them know how to look at things from a different perspective, no matter what adversities are placed in front of them.
Correct.
So, level head, keep a desire for wanting to be great, because you kept your desire for wanting to be great at football, great at life, but just great at being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That you will persevere and you'll be able to sit up here and inspire the youth and also the elderly to let them continue to go out there and be the best that they can be at all times.
At all times.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Shit, we got, man, look, we in life, we living, we breathe and we healthy. We got a lot of shit to be thankful for. Why not enjoy this shit now? Don't give me my flowers when I'm dead and gone. Give it to me now. So thank y'all. Shit, I'm gonna water my own flowers y'all gave me too.
That's right.
Good. That's good.
My brother, you're welcome here anytime. We do a segment going in 60 seconds. That's a sports segment. If anytime you want to come on the show and share your experience on there, or like run down some sports scores with me, or whatever the case may be, we more than welcome to have. All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks for coming through.
All right,
Ken.
thank
No
you.
problem. See y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, y'all.
That's it. Look at that. You see that? that came from him just wanting to be regardless of whatever adversity he was facing.
Mm-hmm.
You see the emotions that he could have just allowed himself to just be derailed. But he said, fuck that. I'm not going to allow somebody else to dictate my path. I'm going to take this and I'm going to run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions
Exactly.
emotions don't always derail, ladies. You see that? See that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that they don't always be real. It's just temporary.
Yeah,
That's
temporary.
all.
Let's
It's
use
just
that word.
temporary.
Not they're not real, because we do allow y'all to have your emotions, but
Mm-hmm.
allow you to be temporary in the moment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Facts are
Don't come 2 weeks from now with your mad shit, man. let your mad shit be over.
Listen,
Let your mad shit be over, man.
they,
Let your
I
mad
got
shit
Who,
be over.
me?
I am
Who,
near
me?
6
Shit.
minutes.
You know what I mean, let your mad shit be over, man. What's up? What we doing?
Who playing the Super
No,
Bowl?
are you still doing going in 60 seconds?
Yeah.
What's up? What's
Yeah.
going on in the world? What's happening?
Go Eagles.
Y'all just lost y'all just lost 2 coaches, but go
Four
ahead. 4 coaches?
4 coaches, 2 left
Y'all just
today.
lost 4 coaches. So,
Well, then what that mean for the new season? What that mean for the next season, the upcoming season? What that mean for us? That we
mean
might
y'all
just,
lost, that mean y'all lost y'all good coaches. That's what it means.
No, that don't mean that we lost our good coaches necessarily.
Going in 60 seconds. I'm about to get emotional.
Go ahead,
Why?
All right, so the football season has commenced. As y'all all know, last week they crowned the winner. Kansas City Chiefs took it, commencing the season and raising the Vince Lombardi. So as we progress through sports, as we talk to Kent, sports is a great outlet to trace your dreams, a great outlet to be competitive, a great outlet just being the best that you can be. Tonight we had the NBA put on its finest hour, and it highlighted all the stars, the top 24 stars in the league, and they actually showed out today. And for the first time in 5 years, LeBron James lost. This is the first time in 5 years that LeBron's team did not win. Team Giannis beat Team LeBron 184-175 with an exciting show. And the MVP of the All-Star game, drum roll please.
Who is that, Harpo?
Mr. Jason Tatum with 55 points. So shout outs to the Boston.
God damn, 55.
An All-Star game record at that. Jason Tatum scored 55 points in tonight's All-Star game, taking home the coveted All-Star game MVP, along with the win for Team Giannis.
Wait a minute. The All-Star game MVP is named something else.
Yeah, it's named the Michael Jordan Award. Greatest player of all time. So let's not get that confused. that have this great debate. Who's the greatest player of all time? Is it LeBron? Is it Jordan? Some people even mix Kobe in there. They named the MVP after Jeffrey Jordan. Person to take home the first annual Michael Jordan MVP award was Jason Tatum with 55 points. He had 10 rebounds and 9 assists, just missing a triple-double, with his Boston Celtics cohort having 35 points, and Mr. Jaylen Brown with 14 rebounds and also 9 assists, him also missing a triple-double. So the night was capped off in Salt Lake City, Utah for 2023. The All-Star game next season will be held in Indianapolis, another cold city, a cold state. So it looks like the NBA holds a lot of its All-Star games in cold weather spots, and the NFL holds a lot of its Super Bowls in warm weather spots. The teams did a unique thing for the first time, and they had captains. So it was Team Bron, team versus Team Giannis. And just like we do on the basketball court when we go out there and we don't have our 5 and we're just picking players, they did that for the first time. First player picked from Team LeBron was Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid went with the first pick, and Team Giannis' first pick was Jason Tatum. The last pick from both teams And the starting five was Larry Market was the exact last pick in the starting five. He went to Team Giannis, and Jokic was the last pick for Team LeBron. And then the reserves was Larry. Who was the reserve that was picked last?
How was that work, dog? I missed
It don't
everything.
even matter. It doesn't even matter. But for the first time in LeBron's captaincy, he went down, and his record is 5-1. Beat him for the first time in 5 tries. So shout outs to all 24 of the top players in NBA. Some of them, we ain't gonna say all of them, but some of them who made it tonight played in a very, very entertaining All-Star game. Also, Ken Stenhouse won the longest Daytona 500 in history. Actually, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. won the first Daytona 500 after a record 212 laps. This is the first time it went into overtime because the first time they could not crown a winner because of a wreck that caused them to go into overtime. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. after 199 races won his first race in about 1,000 years and took home the Daytona 500 today. So that's going in 60 seconds. We have a lot more of this basketball talk come Thursday on Game 7 at 7 with Tia Mike. It's a great, great show. Tune in. You can win a lot of great prizes. They give you opportunity to win Game 7 T-shirts. They give you opportunity to talk shop. They give you opportunity to learn some things. And they give you a great experience. Also, you got Telemade Kicks this Wednesday. We had a great show last Wednesday. We debuted some pickups that we had this week. We're talking about the greatest basketball player and a shoe that he actually wore. My man and myself got them sneaks ourselves, so we're gonna show them, unbox them, flip them upside down. You might even see them lick them once or twice. I don't know. Be in store for a great show. Come Wednesday at 8 p.m. at Telemade Kicks. Shout outs to Kent for coming on and sharing his story. We appreciate that. That's the type of things that we like to see. We love to see individuals winning at life.
Facts. What's up, people? Is everybody good?
Yeah, before we get out of here, man, we got to say happy birthday to the one and only Helen. Actual birthday, unlike KD last week celebrating her birthday Saturday and rolling it over on Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, I'm still celebrating.
Shout out to Helen. And I know that's right, KD.
I'm still celebrating.
All month long.
But today is Helen Weaver's birthday. Also, Barbara Jones's son's birthday is today as well. We're seeing some of those posts today in our respective communities. We wanted to highlight those individuals as they are celebrating their birthdays, and anybody else that has a birthday coming up, has celebrated a birthday, has a birthday on the horizon. Happy birthday. Hope everybody has a great week this coming week. It's a little bit of sad news on Nell's on my front. Again, I talked to Aisha about this Thursday. I thanked her for her kind words. She knew of my cousin personally. My cousin was killed tragically on Valentine's Day. A truck actually tipped over and crushed his car and killed him instantly, leaving his fiance in like disarray, and also a host of family members, and not a host, but all of his family, me included, mourning the loss of our loved one. But thank you to everybody out there for your kind words, your love, your prayers. Just all the love that you always show me all the time whenever anything going on. The funeral is coming up, so we'll get together with family and just wrap our arms around the family. And I'll also express my love that you bestowed upon me to my family as we go through our grieving process. So I just wanted to say to everybody out there for your kind words, your love, and also your prayers. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. No. And to the people, the friends, the community, the Southwest family, like to all the people that he has touched too. Like really, honestly, he was such a solid dude. And he will be missed.
when you got somebody that you real close with, like I'm close with Ish, man. Ish is close, we cool, you know what I mean? And seeing her post something, I was like, damn, she knew him too. Like, dude was known
Right.
by a lot of people, so that just lets you know what kind of guy he was. What up?
Yep. Go ahead, T.
No, I was gonna say prayers to you and your family, but I also wanted to say, can you tell the people that we don't care about golf and we're never gonna talk about golf on this show?
Well, I'm sorry,
We ain't
that's
giving
not-
Tiger
not-
no
it's not
love.
a
We
real
not giving
sport.
none
It's
of
not-
the.
it's
that
not
is
a real
my
sport.
Super Bowl.
That
It's
is
not a
a
real
real
sport.
sport.
It's not a real
It's my
sport.
Super Bowl.
It's not a Super Bowl. It's not a real sport. We're not talking
It's
about
my
golf.
Super Bowl in April.
If
I
the
love
smacking of people on national TV is considered a sport, golf is considered a sport.
No.
Thank you.
Not.
Golf
It's
is
considered a sport.
Hold on. Who's the best golfer right now, K-Day?
Golf.
Who's the best golfer right now?
Yeah, who's the best
I
golfer
haven't
right
been
now?
keeping up with it lately.
Oh, all right then. Then it's
That
not
ain't
real. It's not real. Then. Yes, it's not. It's
I
not
can
real
look
then.
it up for you.
It ain't Tiger. Tiger
No, it
retired.
ain't Tiger.
No,
No, it ain't Tiger.
not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
KD,
I
if
mean,
you
I
don't
That's all
know
I
what's
know.
going
wasn't
on,
Tiger at the moment.
KD.
See, that's the thing about golf.
KD, if you don't know what's going on, then it doesn't matter. It don't count. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah. I'm
No,
sorry. Yeah, it don't
Let me
count for
look
me
it up
because
for
the
you.
only person I know is Tiger.
You gotta at least know
That's
what's
the
going
only
on.
golfer you know.
You
That's
gotta
the
at least know what's going on.
that's the only.
What golfer you know? They name
That's
five.
what I'm saying. She can't.
Yeah. Do you know some other golfers? Because I
Oh
don't.
man, they're gonna be old golfers.
Kidding. If you name 5 golfers, active golfers right now, I will include
active
in my
golfers.
golfer 60 segment.
They got to be active golfers.
Yes.
That is your Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody look this up too while KD's naming names. There might be somebody from the 50s and shit. You know how KD do.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to name some old ones.
No,
I mean,
KD.
you got
He
Greg
said
Norman.
active. He said active people, KD.
Okay, we can't name legends.
No.
Active. You
Palmer.
said it.
Right, KD. I be lost in the sauce. I'm lost in the sauce
I mean,
on this topic
VJ
here.
Singh.
Oh.
Okay, well, y'all got me there. I mean, I could
it's
cheat,
not
but
real,
I'm not a
Janine, sorry.
cheater.
Is it?
To look up.
You didn't even name Tiger. We would have gave you a mother. We would have gave you at least.
Oh, well, Tiger is a given. Everybody know Tiger.
Right, everybody knows Tiger.
I don't know that.
You got Roy McIlroy. You got Justin Thomas. You got Justin Day. You got Jordan Spieth. You got a number of different people.
Oh, I forgot about Jordan.
A number of these players. You got to know these people who are American.
You can't say you're a fan of this sport and you don't know nobody else playing right now. Like, what are we talking
I don't
about?
know the players' names on football and all that.
Right.
We do. When we say that, we know every player.
Okay, I don't even know actress and actress's name.
Who's looking crazy?
So if that's just a
out of the 4 of us, who's looking crazy right now? As you say that,
you can say that, but that's just me.
That means
you're crazy.
Names don't work well with
take
me.
her on another vacation, please, Ebony.
Oh, we're going again, right, El? We're going again.
Everybody out there, man. That's again episode 119. Thank y'all for rocking with us again. Top memberships, top fans, all that's available. T-shirts. Guys, look at Ish. Ish got a beautiful green on. Merchandise available. Game 7, Telemade Kicks, Uncensored Minds. The network is growing. We got a special. The young lady up there might got a special announcement real soon. We're working, and just continue to work with us. Please. Hope y'all have a good week. Have a great time with yourself, with your loved ones. Love on each other. Love yourself. Have a good night. And we out of here.
Good night.